The Nine Lives of Walker Harris. Screenplay by Vaughan Rosti. Story by Derek Harris. Representation Jason Belito, Citizen Skull. Jason B at citizenskull.com. Exterior Walker Home Day. A compact car pulls into the driveway of a modest suburban home. A bald man, Henry Walker Harris, 70s, stands on the front steps, waves, and smiles in the sun. Katie, 16, exits the car, disposable fast food soft drink container in hand. Super, October 2007, Colorado.
And now she's driving herself over. Kids grow up so fast.
Hey, Grandpa.
Katie hugs him and he kisses her forehead.
Now, to what do I owe the pleasure of this visit?
I have this stupid history project at school. I hope you can help me with it.
Well, come inside and tell me all about it. Over ice cream.
She smiles. He opens the door for her and follows her inside. Interior Walker Home Kitchen, Day. Walker spoons out enough ice cream to feed an army.
So how can I help?
My history class is doing something called the Living Library, where instead of reading books, we talk to old people about their history.
Old people? You know, when I was your age, we used to treat our elders with respect.
When you were my age, Grandpa, no one used to live to your age.
Grandpa laughs. Then suddenly his eyes get misty.
I'm sorry, Grandpa. I didn't mean...
No, you're right. I lost a lot of friends back then.
Will you come to my history class just before Veterans Day and talk to us about your experiences in the war?
Grandpa Walker looks at her for a second, then gets an idea.
Yeah, I can do that. Come here. Let me show you something.
Grandpa Walker gets up and beckons Katie to follow him. Interior Walker Home Living Room, Day. Walker joins Katie on the couch with an album in his hand.
What's this?
It's a photo album.
I can see that.
This is me. Not much older than you.
Katie looks closely at a black and white photograph of a much younger Walker, aged 18, standing before a plane, smiling.
Grandpa, you were good looking.
Were? Still am, I'll have you know.
Katie smiles. She turns the page and sees a black and white photo of 4 airborne B-25 bombers.
Took that photo myself. That's a Mitchell.
Why is it called a Mitchell?
It was named after the general who fought for the creation of the Air Force, back when I was your age.
The picture gets larger and larger, until... Exterior, aerial, somewhere over Italy. Day, black and white. The loud drone of 4 B-25s flying in close formation over low, broken cloud cover, the hills of Tuscany below.
In World War II, I flew in one of those planes. Until I got shut down.
One plane gets larger and larger until... Interior, B-25 bomber Lady Luck in flight. Day, color. Walker Harris, 18, dashing, unbuckles his seat-pack parachute and stands in the middle of the plane, headphones connected.
Spotter confirms target demolished.
He smiles at the tail gunner Daniel Malicote, 18, who smiles and gives a thumbs-up back. The plane's engines are so loud the crowd can only hear each other through headsets.
Total milk run. Let's go home.
Without warning, an explosion sounds outside the plane. Shrapnel peppers holes down the plane's entire left side. Walker bleeds from a deep gash in his elbow, and shrapnel embeds itself in his goggles. The fuselage slams into Walker, throwing him across the cabin and to the floor. Black smoke fills the cabin. The floor tilts up a lot. Walker tries to stand. It's hard when the floor isn't flat.
We're hit! Lieutenant Rossler!
He speaks into the headset, but that is futile. A screaming engine and gale force winds render the headsets useless. He removes his helmet and goggles and throws them away. Blood obscures his vision. His forehead was cut by shrapnel. Through the holes in the fuselage and side windows, the horizon looms at a steep angle. Sunlight hits Walker's face from the tail canopy. Malicote is slumped over the tail gun.
It's amazing how quickly your life can change. 1 minute you're flying a perfectly good plane. The next, You're bailing out of it.
He climbs uphill to the hatch in the floor of the plane and pulls the emergency release lever. The hatch door flies away. Hurricane force winds fill the cabin, drowning out sound and making it much more difficult to put on his parachute pack. Walker plunges headfirst through the exit hatch. Exterior, aerial, B-25 bomber Lady Luck, day. Walker tumbles as he falls. He sees the smoking plane fly high above him between his legs. He pulls his parachute cord. Nothing happens. He panics, frantically pulling on his parachute cord. The white parachute flies out and up, but barely has time to... He sees the ground rushing up to greet him, an empty field. It's close and fast, too close, too fast. Walker hits the ground hard with his full body. Whomp. Smash cut to black silence.
But that wasn't even the first time I died. That was the third. Let me back up and tell you about the other times. Let's start from the beginning.
Interior, an elementary school classroom, day. Young Walker, 11, sits in a classroom of 24 students. Mrs. Lewis, 20s, stands in front, teaching today's math lesson. Super, October 1936, Oklahoma.
Let's write the year in Roman numerals. First, we take 1,000, which is represented by an M. Then the 9 is harder because we do 1,000 minus 100, so the C goes before the next M.
Walker stares out the window, obviously bored. Spontaneously, he raises his hand. Mrs. Lewis interrupts the lesson.
Walker,
May I go to the bathroom?
you may.
Walker walks out of class. Mrs. Lewis resumes the lesson.
Now, the 36 part is easier. 30 is 3 times 10, so we write X, X, X.
Interior, elementary school hallway, day. Young Walker exits the bathroom and returns to stand outside a door with a huge 5 painted beside it. An almost identical classroom directly opposite, across the hall, is marked 6. Walker looks through 2 open doors. Mrs. Lewis, teaching Roman numerals to the 5th grade, but is more interested in Mrs. Darnell, 30s, teaching literature to 6th grade. He slowly approaches the open 6th grade door and listens.
In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody, but unbowed.
Curious, Walker enters this classroom instead. Interior, an elementary school classroom, day, continuous. Walker slips down the aisle and claims an empty desk at the back next to Alice, 12, a curly-haired blonde. Mrs. Darnell stands before a blackboard on which is written Invictus and William Ernest Henley.
Who can tell me what this means? Chester?
Across the room, Chester, 12, stares out the window, clearly not paying attention.
What? I don't know.
Chester, how about you at least pretend to pay attention? Alice?
That he's been unlucky but still doesn't complain?
Yes, very good. He's wounded but still retains his pride. Walker Harris, is that you? What are you doing here?
5th grade was boring. I want to join this class.
Mrs. Darnell considers this for a moment.
Well, it seems your actions today, Walker, happen to perfectly illustrate what we're just talking about. Look at the last 2 lines. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Children, please welcome Walker to our class.
The classroom applauds. Walker exchanges smiles with Alice. Interior, Harris residence foyer, day. Esther Harris, 40s, an aging Southern belle with thick Coke bottle glasses, arrives home with young Walker, her son.
Honestly, I've never been so humiliated in my entire life. What made you think you can change grades without even asking me?
I was bored, Mama.
So you just walk out of class and join the 6th grade? Henry, you can't do that.
My name is Walker.
Your Christian name is Henry, and I'll hear no more about it.
This house is a prison. No wonder Dad left.
Your father is dead to me, and you will not mention him again in my presence. Now go to your room.
Interior Harris residence, living room, day. Esther and Walker, now 16, intently watch a tiny screen in a large cabinet. Black and white footage of the devastation caused by the attack on Pearl Harbor fills the 8-inch screen. Super, December 9th, 1941.
Copying their German masters, the Japs launched a cowardly attack on Pearl Harbor. The U.S. Navy reports devastating losses, including hundreds of servicemen, 4 battleships, 3 destroyers, 3 cruisers, and a mine ship. President Roosevelt called this a date which will live in infamy, and as of yesterday, America is at war.
I'm going to enlist, Mama.
You'll do nothing of the sort.
No, I want to make a difference.
You're not old enough.
But all my friends are doing it.
Your friends are older than you, and you know why. You're going to college to get an education, and that's the last I'll hear about it.
Exterior high school, day. It's graduation. A banner says, "Congratulations, class of 43. Alice, now 18, rushes happily out of the school with several other kids in convocation attire. Walker and Chester, now 18, follow behind. Chester notices Walker's gaze.
Now's your chance. Talk to her.
I'm not sure I should.
Walker, I've listened to your pine for her for 2 years, and now we're leaving. Go ask her out right now, or regret it forever.
Walker takes a deep breath and rushes up behind her, nervous.
Hey, Alice.
She stops and turns, wondering.
Oh, hi, Walker.
I just wanted to say goodbye.
Goodbye. Why?
I'm gonna enlist. I'm gonna make something of myself. You'll see.
Well, I wish you the best in serving our country, Mr. Harris.
Thank you.
He walks back toward Chester, then stops and turns back.
Could I get a picture of you? If it's not too much trouble.
Alice is surprised at this, but smiles graciously. Interior Army Recruiting Office, day. Walker stands in a line of Army volunteers with Chester.
I can't believe you couldn't even ask her out on a date.
Shut up! At least I got this.
He holds up a photograph of Alice reverently in his hands.
Are you worried they won't accept you because you're only 18?
Shut up already.
Walker gets to the front. An Army recruiter, 40s, takes his paperwork and reads it cursorily.
Henry Walker Harris.
Yes, sir. I go by Walker.
What makes you want to join the Army, son?
I'm ready to do my part, sir. I want my life to mean something.
The recruiter looks up and sees earnestness in Walker's eyes.
Welcome to the Army Air Corps.
The recruiter shakes his hand. Walker grins. Exterior, Pompey Airfield, day. A U.S. transport plane, a C-47, which resembles a small commercial airliner, lands on the airstrip. Mount Vesuvius straddles the horizon, belching smoke.
The Army needed recruits. They didn't care how old I wasn't. And after 6 months of training as a radio operator and waist gunner, we were shipped out. They even kept Chester and me in the same unit.
Super, March 1944. U.S. Army Air Corps Base, Pompey. 12 fighters, P-47s, and 8 B-25s, Mitchells, are lined up neatly alongside the runway. The plane taxis to a stop. From the tarmac, Colonel Chapman, 33, a rugged war-hardened leader, watches 10 new recruits disembark, bags in hand. Major Fields, 28, his overzealous lackey, stands beside him. Gusty winds whip clouds of dust from the dirt airstrip around the planes and personnel, causing Fields to squint, but Chapman doesn't seem at all fazed by it. Once the new arrivals are all on the ground...
Attend hut.
The airmen, including Walker and Chester, drop their bags to snap to attention. Walker is the shortest of the line.
Gentlemen, I present to you Colonel Chapman, commanding officer of the 340th Bomb Group, the best damn group there is.
At ease. Trust you had a pleasant flight. Don't give a flying fuck if you did. You are now part of the 489th Bombardment Squad. Welcome to Italy. Report to the briefing room in 10.
Chapman abruptly walks away.
Grab your kit and let's go, ladies. Uncle Sam doesn't have all day. On me.
Major Fields about faces and walks briskly away. The men double time it to keep up, bags in hand. Shorter than the others, Walker struggles with his bag and to keep pace. Exterior, the briefing tent, day. Major Fields and his row of ducklings stop outside a tent.
Gentlemen, this is the briefing room. Drop your gear here and assemble inside.
The men deposit their duffel bags and enter. Chester pauses.
Sure, I need to take a leak.
Latrine tent is over there, son. You can go after the briefing. After. Go on.
Chester reluctantly joins the others inside the tent. Interior, the briefing tent, day. Colonel Chapman waits at the front as the men enter and find seats. The back half of the seats are already full of men.
Find a seat and make it fast, boys.
Once they do,
Well, you learned the hard way not to send out Virgin crews, so you'll all be teamed up with experienced airmen. Everyone here has already been briefed on today's mission.
more.
No time to get acquainted, as I want you all to be airborne within 30 minutes. Weather's good, daylight's a wasting. Let's see, Coral,
Here.
Harris,
Here.
meet your pilot, Lieutenant Rossler, and your co-pilot, Lieutenant Giddings.
Donald Rosler, 23, square-jawed, eagle-eyed, and with a crew cut so short he almost looks bald, and James Gittings, 22, a smiling, lanky blonde, stand and nod to the newcomers.
Who's your pointer?
Typically Harper, sir, but he's in the infirmary.
That's so.
Malaria, sir.
Boys, taking Atterbury is part of being a good soldier and a moral duty. The war needs healthy airmen. Who else we got?
We could take Newman, sir.
Newman. Okay with you?
Lieutenant
Yes, sir,
Sidney
it's-
Newman, 19, stands.
Yes, sir. It's
I don't care what you do.
The men laugh, used to his no-nonsense approach. The colonel is good-natured about it, however, and smiles.
Newman with Rossler, 2 newbies, and who's your tail gunner?
Malicote, sir.
Malico. Where are you? There you are. Good. That's all 6 of you. Ship out. You're first up. Next set. Let's see. Stewart.
Alex Stewart, 19, waves, and the colonel continues talking while the 6 men, Rossler, Gittings, Walker, Chester, Newman, and Malicote, shake hands in a group at the back.
Good. Introductions are made. Let's load up.
The 6 of them exit the tent. Exterior, Pompey Airfield, day. Rossler strides across the tarmac, leading his crew of 5. Gittings carries paper maps.
Been stationed here long, sir?
Don't sir me. Say that for the colonel. Been here with the 489 6 months. Already changed bases 4 times.
Rumor is we're being shipped out to the Pacific Theater soon.
Where'd you hear that?
A trinogram.
You know, we went to 5 different countries last week. Italy, Greece, Albania, Yugoslavia, and Bulgaria.
No kidding.
Different target every day, unless we miss.
I figure hitting Sarajevo was poetic justice in a way.
How's that?
Wraps everything up neatly. That's where the shooting started in the last war. Hey, maybe this'll end it.
They arrive at their B-25J, named That's All Brother, a 53-foot-long bomber with a distinctive twin tail. A bikini-clad woman painted on the side winks at them, but Walker is more concerned about the holes.
You sure this thing can fly?
See those?
He points to 41 black bombs painted on the fuselage.
Each of those represents a successful mission. 9 more and I get 3 days leave. Maybe they'll send me to that resort on Capri. What news we call it?
Furlough in heaven.
Furlough in heaven. Makes war sound like summer camp.
When do we get that?
Get 50 successful missions.
Meaning you hit 50 targets?
Hitting targets is Newman's job. I just try to get us home in one place. Hop in.
The crew scrambles aboard via separate doors. Malakote and Walker hoist themselves up through the rear bottom hatch. Interior, that's all brother, cockpit, day. Rossler and Gittings get the highest seats, Chester just behind them. Newman literally has to crawl into his spot. The bombardier's position is a separate compartment in the nose, accessed via a crawl space easiest traversed on one's back. Cabin. Malakote straps in next to Walker. There are 2 seats behind the bomb bay used for takeoff. Cockpit. Strapped in, Rossler and Gittings flick switches.
Fueled and heavy.
Let's go.
The B-25J is propelled by 2 Wright R2609 Cyclone engines, each of which is literally deafening. They sputter and spit out a lot of black smoke when started. Cabin. Walker puts on his headphones. He then notices that Malakote has turned to talk to him, but only sees his mouth move. As the plane starts to taxi, Malakote taps his headphones and points to Walker. Walker follows its spiral cord down to the jack. He holds it up, then plugs it in. Note, all conversation, on-screen or off, in the plane is distorted, as they can only be heard through headphones.
You need to get on comms faster. This isn't training anymore.
Got it.
Here, take this. There are no atheists in foxholes or cockpits.
Malakote hands Walker a pocket-sized Bible and drops it in his left shirt pocket. He taps Walker on the shoulder and moves back to the tail.
You know they made me swear an oath not to let these northern bomb sites fall into enemy hands? These things can put a bomb in a pickle barrel from 40,000 feet.
Intercut, cockpit, nose compartment. The plane takes off.
But a B-25 can't fly that high.
Hell no. They took out the heaters. We'd freeze to death.
We asphyxiate first, actually. Lack of oxygen.
Well, that's reassuring.
Welcome to the Army, kid. 10 different ways to die each day.
Best part is I get to be in charge of the plane for 2 minutes.
Great bomb site still doesn't make up for bad intel.
Yeah, we successfully bombed that railway bridge last week. Too bad it's the wrong bridge.
Yeah, it could be worse. I heard the 370th bombed a German airfield outside Rimini last month. Take one guess where their next base was. This month they fill in their own bomb craters in the runway.
Exterior aerial above Pompey Airfield, day. That's all brother, flies through the air. The view of a smoking Vesuvius is stunning.
Hey, do you think it's a bad idea having an airfield so close to an active volcano, do you?
You kidding me? It's fantastic. You can visually locate home from 400 miles. Pillar of cloud by day and a column of fire by night.
I still need a pee.
Intercut. Interior, exterior, that's all brother, day. The sound of explosions startle Walker. The plane shifts violently and he flails around, but there is nothing to grab.
What's going on?
Malicious anti-aircraft fire explodes all around them.
No, just a little ack-ack.
Is it always this bad?
No, it's usually worse.
Steady and hold for release.
Steady? We're sitting ducks right here. We need to change altitude at least.
Hold position. Steady for release.
Opening bomb bay doors.
The large doors on the bottom of the plane open.
Bombs away.
1,000-pound bombs fall away from the plane.
Closing bomb bay doors.
Hold on, we're leaving.
The plane banks steeply left amidst puffs of deadly smoke.
Jesus, they're trying to kill us.
Yeah, that's generally how it works.
The plane shudders from flak that explodes closer and louder.
Get us out of here.
Well, only because you say so.
The plane's engines scream as it banks into a steep dive.
Are we hit?
Trust me, when we're hit, you'll know. From this height, we'd have 20 seconds to get out the door before the plane crashes. I recommend not waiting for 15 of them.
This is crazy.
Hey, look at the bright side. At least we're no longer carrying 4,000 pounds of explosives.
The entire crew is thrown from side to side as the plane violently changes direction. Gittings smiles, used to this.
Get it, where we were breaking in the newbies, right? Scaring us as part of some initiation ritual.
Tight-lipped.
Unfortunately, no.
Walker takes the photo of Alice from his pocket. To the photo.
I'm coming home, Alice.
Any enemy fighters?
Cabin. In the tail, Malakote looks warily for anything to shoot.
Clear skies except for the ack-ack. Hey, Harris.
Call me Walker.
Whatever your name is, I keep a sharp eye out for enemy planes.
Walker pockets Alice's photo and looks out of his window. There are no other planes. The puffs of anti-aircraft fire at various altitudes are simultaneously beautiful and terrifying. Suddenly, a window pane shatters in the tail canopy. A new hole in the metal appears in the plane's left fuselage. Walker is hit and is thrown to the floor, but he gets up immediately and seems fine. Then Malakote cries out,
"Are you hurt?"
Surprised, it's just plexiglass.
Walker gets up as Malakote pulls a plexiglass shard out of the back of his hand. There's blood, but his fingers work.
It's not too bad.
Everyone okay back there?
Yeah, boss, just lost a window.
Let me wrap that for you.
He pulls down a med kit from the fuselage.
We should be out of the worst of it now. Heading home.
It's just a scratch.
Won't hurt to wrap it.
Walker efficiently wraps up his hand. Malakote admires it.
Thanks. Looks like you got lucky yourself.
What do you mean?
Malakote points to Walker's breast pocket, where an ugly piece of splintered metal pierced his flak jacket and lies embedded in the Bible Malakote gave him.
Jesus.
See? It's a good guy to have on your side, I'm telling you.
Walker is shocked and pulls it out in amazement.
And that was the first time I almost died. Little did I know how many more times there would be.
Exterior Pompey Airfield day. That's All Brother taxis to a halt. The front door opens instantly. Chester tumbles out. Gittings and Newman follow. To Newman.
Did he puke?
No, he just had to pee.
The two laugh as Chester pees at the side of the runway. Rossler joins Colonel Chapman and Sergeant Bradley, 23, the ground crew chief assigned to That's All Brother, as they assess the damage. Walker helps the bandaged Malakote out, then approaches the others. To Rossler and Bradley.
We'll have to put her out of service until we patch these holes.
If you don't mind, sir, the holes aren't a problem.
I beg your pardon.
Sir, it's just that these holes represent places where a plane can be hit and still make it home. I'm more concerned about the gas tanks and engines in Bombay. Planes who get hit there tend to not make it home. If we've got metal plating to spare, I'd just as soon have you reinforce the areas that don't have holes.
Well, might be on something.
If you can still fly, replace the tail canopy paint and we're good to go.
Reinforce the undamaged parts. Damn war makes no sense.
Bradley shakes his head. Colonel Chapman spits and walks away. Rossler calls to his crew and hands Bradley his camera.
Hey, Giddings, Malakote, get over here. Bradley, take our picture.
The 6 men line up before That's All Brother and smile. The camera flashes.
It's amazing how quickly life can change. 1 minute, you're meeting strangers. The next, those strangers are your best friends.
Interior, Walker home, living room, day. The same picture is in Grandpa Walker's photo album. Grandpa Walker touches it reverently. Katie looks up at him.
What happened to your friends, Grandpa?
Grandpa Walker looks at her. His eyes grow misty. Interior, Walker's tent, night. Walker holds his picture of Alice reverently, laying in his bunk. Stuart sidles up to him. Thunder rolls outside.
That your girlfriend?
I wish.
Hey guys, Walker here's got a girlfriend.
Walker pockets the picture and hits Stuart with a pillow. Interior, Walker's tent, night. Walker lifts a tent flap. It's pouring rain outside.
It was one extreme or another. On rainy days, we couldn't fly, and everyone stayed home all day. Or we flew all day and got shot at. It was either war or peace, rain or shine.
Interior, Pompey Airfield, the mess tent, day. Walker joins his crew laughing at a table.
Feast or famine, life or death. We were young and foolish, and as if nothing could hurt us. Some of us never had the chance to grow wiser.
Major Fields enters the tent holding a large bag.
Mail call.
Meals are abandoned as everyone clamors toward him. Interior, Walker's tent, night. Walker writes in a journal and slaps at a mosquito.
Bed bugs were a problem. Mosquitoes carried malaria, and they were a problem.
Interior, Katie's high school, hallway, day. The bell rings, and the hallway fills in seconds. Grandpa Walker follows a nervous Katie through the crowd.
Grandpa, you're not gonna, embarrass me, are you?
Not unless I tell them about the letter you wrote to Santa Claus 10 years ago asking to marry Mac Efron.
No, we are not mentioning that.
They pass Devon, 16, laden in jewelry and wild pink hair. At his locker, between two friends. As Katie and Grandpa Walker pass, he says loud enough she can overhear,
Great. History class with a walking fossil.
His two friends high-five and chuckle in agreement. Katie glares at him, but says nothing. Interior, Katie's high school classroom, day. Grandpa Walker perches on a stool before a class of teens. Katie sits in the front row, fearing social mortification. But Devon has his arms crossed in the back. Their teacher, 40s, supervises from his desk.
But let me tell you about the night we lost the most planes. And the Germans didn't even fire a shot.
Exterior, Pompey Airfield Camp, night. The camp sleeps beside the smoking mountain. Super, March 24th, 1944. A deep, rumbling explosion sounds deep within it. Boom. Interior, Walker's tent, night. Walker awakes in the dead of night needing to pee. He gets out of bed, leaving 7 other bunkmates snoring, and leaves the tent. Exterior, Walker's tent, night. Walker walks a short distance and begins to relieve himself. In the middle of this process, a rock hits him in the head.
Ow! That you, Stuart? Stop it.
He rubs his head, but can't see anyone. He resumes urinating, but is soon hit in the head by another piece of gravel.
Ow, cut it out. Seriously, you want me to walk to the latrines? Fine.
Interior, latrine tent, night. A bank of wooden holes in a bench over a trench without dividers greets Walker as he enters. Then, a larger rock lands on the canvas roof outside. It sits there, creating a divot. Walker cocks his head and watches with curiosity, until it melts through the latrine's ceiling. A glowing, hot, football-sized rock falls to Walker's feet.
Oh, shit.
More divots appear between every wooden roof support. The latrine tent creaks and begins to lean with the weight. Walker zips up his pants and scrambles for the door. Exterior, Pompey Airfield Camp, night. The latrine tent collapses, with Walker still inside. Walker flounders about until he finds the door flap. He emerges and pales when he sees the horizon. Vesuvius is erupting. Before, there was one small lava stream. Now there are 4 large lava rivers flowing down the side of the mountain. Thick, billowing smoke can be seen even in the dark of night. It comes down as fine volcanic ash. Ubiquitous grey snow.
Guys!
He runs back to his tent. Interior, Walker's tent, night. Walker rushes in, yelling and shaking everyone awake.
Wake up! The mountain is erupting! We're on a freaking volcano! Get out of bed!
Chester sits up, groggy, as a steaming rock burns through the ceiling and lands between his legs on the top bunk.
Okay, you have my attention.
Chester joins Malakote on the lower bunk.
I'm staying down here with you.
What makes you think I want to sleep with you?
You think we're sleeping?
You sleep?
They find your mummified body in 1,000 years. Remember what happened in Pompeii?
No, not that old.
Dumbass, the Roman ruins. You can walk there from here.
Not tonight, you can't.
Those people weren't
Killed by lava flows and falling ash. They were killed by poisonous gas flowing down the mountain.
On cue, the camp alarm sounds.
the briefing room.
Where's my helmet?
They all grab helmets and run. Exterior, Pompey Airfield, night. The airfield is under attack by a mountain. Rocks of various sizes fall and roll. The largest still glow hot. Grey ash saturates the air and makes it hard to breathe. Walker, Chester, Malakote and Stewart try to dodge falling rock. Those not wearing helmets use magazines to shield their heads less effectively. Chaplain Cooper uses an umbrella, which works for 5 seconds, until a larger rock destroys it. Major Fields barks orders from outside the briefing tent.
Save the plane. Ground crew, clear the runway. Airmen, keep the ash off your own planes.
The 4 run to their adjacent planes and climb on the wings. Rossler and Gittings soon arrive at That's All Brother.
We'll need brooms.
There aren't enough for the camp.
Find a shovel. Use a spoon for all I care. Are we fueled?
Something tells me now is not a good time to break out the flammable liquids.
Rossler jumps into the cockpit. Outside, Bradley drives a bulldozer, trying to clear the runway of rocks and ash. Interior, That's All Brother, cockpit, night. Rossler and Gittings strap in and power up the plane. A fist-sized rock hits the plexiglass above them. They stare at it. Cracks appear. Then the plexiglass melts, allowing the rock to pass through the window and fall to the cockpit floor.
Take a look at that, will ya?
You want to take off in this?
The control flaps are canvas, probably burnt through already. We'd never get airborne, just...
They look at each other, then start flipping switches off. Exterior, Pompey Airfield, night. The airstrip is in chaos. Some crews run towards the planes, others abandon them. Colonel Chapman joins Fields, grumpy.
Little bit of gray snow never hurt anybody.
He watches Walker trying to sweep off ash and rocks from the wings of That's All Brother when a large rock wipes out its unoccupied gun turret. Walker looks over to him in alarm.
All right, that's it. We're done here. Bill, get all the man trucks. I want the entire base 2 hours south of here in 2 hours.
Sir, we just abandoned the planes?
Chapman looks at the airfield under attack. Planes now hold 6 inches of ash. Heavy rocks land and remain on the wings. Note, B-25s have wheels under the wings and cockpit, not the tail. If the horizontal stabilizers collect too much weight, on a lever 25 feet from the fulcrum, the tail falls 8 feet to the ground, which puts the cockpit 16 feet in the air. Chapman and Fields watch a plane's nose rise into the air.
Can't fly 'em. You want to drive them to Naples?
No, sir.
I have no idea on God's green earth how I'm supposed to save those planes, Fields, but I do know how to save my men. Ship out! Let's go!
Yes, sir. Load up the trucks, everyone. Abandon the base.
Men assist each other into the back of covered troop trucks. Walker is helped in by Chester, then helps Stewart in turn. Interior, exterior, troop truck, night. Once 8 guys are seated along each wall, the truck leaves, slowly, bumping over massive rocks newly arrived in the road.
Fly the bombers, Mama said. It's safer than the infantry, Mama said.
Exterior, Vesuvius, dawn. 2 American troop trucks slowly pass refugees walking away. The civilian populace beleaguered by war, and now volcanoes. Some have loaded everything they own, mattresses, artwork, furniture, into the backs of trucks piled high, then ride on the tailgate as the trucks move. Enterprising children press Italian lira into a soft, cooling lava rock and sell their products to the American GIs for $1. Chester buys one and hands it to Walker.
Check this out. This is the best souvenir I could imagine.
Walker admires it in his hands. Chester buys another one.
Oh, it's still warm.
Vesuvius belches smoke and lava in the background. Interior, Katie's high school classroom day. Grandpa Walker definitely has these kids' attention.
That was my second brush with death. Almost killed by a volcano. I bet you kids didn't even know there was a volcano during World War II.
He hands around the lira pressed into lava rock. The kids admire it and pass it on. Devon is suitably impressed. Exterior, Corsican airspace, day. The gorgeous, mountainous island of Corsica appears below. A shiny, brand-new plane flies through the skies. She has her name, Lady Luck, and 0 bombs painted on her cockpit. Interior, Lady Luck cockpit in flight, day. Rossler and Gittings are strapped in.
Take a look, boys. New plane, new home. The USS Corsica.
Isn't that where Napoleon was born?
Yeah, if it's not one empire, it's another.
How does she handle Rossler?
Yeah, a bit resistant. Typical virgin.
The men laugh.
Hey, Newman, you know why Rossler loves his plane more than his girlfriend?
Through
No.
headphones.
No, why?
Because the plane goes down when he tells it to.
Rossler takes the plane into a steep dive. Exterior, Allison Airfield, day. Lady Luck lands on Allison's dirt runway. The crew exits. Chester rushes the side of the runway to pee. Rossler pulls Walker and Malakote aside to the other side of the airstrip.
Hey, boys, take a look at this.
Rossler bends over and points at a particular Corsican shrub. It's warped, showing scars of its survival despite adversity.
You know what this is?
Malakote and Walker shake their heads.
It's called maquis. French resistance are named after this bush. Untrained patriots defending their country against the Nazis. They lack equipment, but they're hardy. Live under any conditions. We could learn something from this bush. Never give up.
Rossler walks away. Walker remains, staring at the bush. Interior, mess tent, day. Walker and Chester sit side by side at a table and chow down.
Mind if I join you?
Walker looks up at Lieutenant Joseph Heller, 21, an earnest new recruit fresh off the plane. Full head of dark hair and arresting good looks. Walker welcomes him with a gesture.
Please.
Heller places his tray and offers his hand before sitting.
Joey Heller, 48th.
Walker Harris, 489th. This is Chester Coral.
Nice to meet you.
How'd you guys survive the volcano? Anyone hurt?
Amazingly enough, the worst injury was a sprained wrist.
Lost 88 planes, though. Jerry never had a better day.
Dumbest thing I've ever seen. Who puts an airfield next to an active volcano?
Sounds insane.
What's insane is trying to deliver explosives to the Germans who seem to have plenty of them already.
But if you're really insane, they won't let you fly.
You have to be insane to want to fly in this war in the first place.
Quite the paradox. It's insane to want to fly when the entire German army is trying to kill you, yet if you ask the ducks to ground you, they'll know you're sane.
That's ridiculous.
Veritable conundrum. There ought to be a better word for it, though, like a oxymoronic catch, you know?
Yeah, nothing oxy about it. It's just moronic.
Walker and Chester resume eating. Heller muses to himself.
1, 18. That's it. That's 18. Right? Has a nice ring to it.
Interior, Katie's high school classroom. Grandpa Walker hopes for a reaction from his audience.
You all know who Joseph Heller is?
Katie raises her hand with some reluctance, but when she sees that no one else has raised theirs, lowers hers shyly. The other kids all stare at him blankly. Silence.
Author of Catch-22, one of the most significant novels of the 20th century. 10 million copies.
The kids look around at each other guiltily. Some shrug. To their teacher.
What are you teaching them?
The teacher can only shrug helplessly. Exterior, aerial, somewhere over Italy. Day. 4 Mitchells fly in box formation as they approach their target, a railway bridge 5,000 feet below. Super, November 4th, 1944, near Alexandria, northern Italy. They release the bombs and bank right. One of the planes has Lady Luck painted on its side. Exterior, aerial, B-25 Lady Luck, day. Walker looks out the left side window, wearing goggles and his helmet. Without warning, an explosion tears the left engine apart. A propeller blade breaks off and slices through the cockpit, nearly severing it from the rest of the plane.
That was the third time. The plane's engine exploded 15 feet away. Somehow, that killed everyone in the plane except me.
Shrapnel peppers holes down the plane's entire left side. The plane's left engine burns, spewing flame and black smoke, and the plane dives, falling off into a spin to the right.
It's amazing how quickly life can change. 1 minute you're on top of the world, flying around with your friends. The next, your friends are all dead.
Interior, another plane, day. From his tailgun turret, Alex Stewart watches the Lady Luck burn and spin out. He puts his hand on the plexiglass.
Jump, you bastards, jump!
The hatch door flies away below the burning plane. From his perspective, however, he sees no parachutes. Exterior aerial, Lady Luck, day. Walker sees the ground rush up to meet him. An empty field. It's close and fast. Too close. His parachute finally jerks open above him, slowing his fall, but not enough. Walker hits the ground hard with his full body. Whump. Walker lies motionless, face down, as the parachute settles leisurely to the ground beside him. Interior, Colonel Chapman's office, day. Colonel Chapman reads paperwork at his desk. There is a knock on the door.
Come in.
Stewart enters contritely, his hat under his arm, and salutes. Chapman looks up at him.
Sergeant Stewart. Report.
Our objective today was the railway bridge near Castle Monteferrato. We dropped 34 1,000-pounders on the target. It will not be necessary for us to return, sir.
Nice work. Any casualties?
Yes, sir. At about 13:25, after dropping its payload, plane 9E, Lady Luck, took a direct hit on its port engine and went down fast.
Any survivors?
I saw a hatch blow off, sir. Probably the back one.
See any parachute?
I did not, sir.
See the plane crash?
I did, sir.
Colonel Chapman purses his lips.
May God have mercy on their souls.
Not knowing what to say, Stewart remains standing awkwardly.
Thank you, Sergeant. That'll be all. Glad you're back in one piece.
Thank you, sir.
Montage. MIA is typed in the status box in personnel cards. Cards are already filled in with a black and white picture paperclipped. A. Donald H. Rossler, First Lieutenant, Pilot, Ohio, MIA. B. James R. Gittings, Second Lieutenant, Co-Pilot, Massachusetts, MIA. C. Sidney L. Newman, First Lieutenant, Bombardier, Maine, MIA. D. Daniel E. Malacote, Staff Sergeant, Tail Gunner, Maryland, MIA. E. Chester E. Call, Staff Sergeant, Turret Gunner, Oklahoma, MIA. F. H. Walker Harris, T. Sergeant, Radio Operator, Oklahoma, MIA. Interior, Harris Residence, day. The doorbell rings. Esther Harris waddles up and opens the front door. Outside, a deliveryman, 50s, stands in a Western Union uniform.
Miss Esther Harris,
Yes?
telegram for you, ma'am. Please sign here.
She signs, and he hands her an envelope marked War Department. She looks up. The deliveryman nods, then...
They send an officer and a chaplain when it's really bad news, ma'am.
He turns to leave, and she closes the door and reads. She soon needs the nearest chair.
Mrs. Esther Harris, I regret to have to inform you that your son, Technical Sergeant Henry Walker Harris, was in a plane that did not return to base on November 4th, 1944. The plane was reported as shot down over Alessandra, Italy. Accordingly, your son's status has been recorded as missing in action. Please be assured that efforts to locate him continue, and that should any further information become available, I shall ensure that it is transmitted to you without delay. Please know you have my heartfelt sympathy during this period of uncertainty. Sincerely yours, Colonel Willis Chapman.
Esther holds the letter to her heart, her concern evident. She reaches for the black phone on the wall. Exterior, field, somewhere in Italy, day. Walker lifts his head and groans in pain. His face is bloody. His parachute lies flat beside him, still attached.
I hit the ground hard, but I was still alive. That was my fourth death.
He grabs the ground around him, soft earth. He landed in a freshly ploughed field. A gun barrel presses to his back.
Americano?
Yes, American.
Bene.
The gun is quickly removed. Matteo, a farmer, 40s, grins. His son Angelo, 14, stands by, looking at Walker with concern.
Are you okay?
I think so.
We go. No stay here. Germans.
Matteo helps Walker up. In Italian, subtitled,
Angelo, bring his parachute. Seems your English is about to be useful.
Angelo collects the chute and helps carry Walker away. Interior, Matteo's storage shed, day. Matteo and Angelo help Walker in to lay him on a pile of hay.
You hide here. No Germans.
Rest, I bring food.
The two take the parachute and leave. Walker collapses. Exterior, hill, day. German soldiers inspect the Lady Luck crash site. Two carry the bloody body of Malakote out and lay it beside 4 others covered by white sheets. Captain George Sessler, 25, oversees the investigation. He leans leisurely against his jeep, humming the tune from Brahms' Requiem, second movement, Denn alles Fleisch, Es ist wie Gras. He walks over to the plane, in German subtitled.
5 bodies. Bomber cruiser 6. We're missing one.
He scans the surrounding area below. Interior, Matteo's storage shed, night. Angelo arrives with a pasta tomato soup. Walker devours it. Angelo watches him eat with amusement, then offers a local vintage, carbonated wine. Walker samples it.
Oh, this is delicious. What is this?
Asti spumante, local wine.
I'm in love.
Angelo laughs.
Keep the bottle, you walk.
Walker tries to get up, but is wobbly and needs support.
No.
Rest now. Tonight, I take you to my friend. He will help you.
Angelo taps him on the shoulder and leaves. Walker sips. To the bottle.
This could be the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Interior, Matteo's storage shed, night. Angelo slips through the door with clothes and a wash basin.
Buona serata.
Buona serata. Thanks.
I bring you clothes. You know, look American. And water. Wash.
Walker winces as he wipes his face and arm particularly, but sheds his M uniform and dons the British outfit.
If that's all right.
Angelo collects the American uniform, but Walker protests.
Wait.
He pulls Alice's photo out of the thigh pocket and smiles.
You walk now?
Walker gets up and walks around the shed.
I think so.
Good. We go.
Exterior, Matteo's storage shed, night. Angelo leads Walker across a field beneath the stars. Exterior, Tino's storehouse, night. Angelo directs Walker through an olive orchard to an old stone shed. Angelo raps on the door. Tino, 40s, a dark-haired, burly, gregarious fellow, answers.
This is Tino, local leader of la Resistenza Italiana. I go. Friend.
Angelo taps him on the shoulder and leaves. Tino sizes up Walker, then moves aside to let him in. Interior, Tino's storehouse, night. Walker enters a shed with no furniture. Piles of loose straw provide Spartan decor. Tino eyes Walker suspiciously.
You are American pilot.
American, yes. Pilot, no. Radio operator. My bomber was shot down.
Close enough. Tonight we sleep here. Tomorrow night we walk to Canelli to meet my friends.
I need to find my friends.
No one in your plane survived it, except you.
Walker goes silent, acknowledging that.
I can, however, help you get back to Allied forces. You can fly again a plane and kill more Germans.
Good. How do we do that?
We walk to France.
I'm not sure I can walk that.
No worry, no. We wait for the mountain passes to clear. Maybe February, maybe March.
That's 3 months.
Lots of time to rest. Until then, to meet my friends. We sleep now.
Tino throws him a blanket and pulls one over himself. Tino is snoring even before Walker has made himself comfortable. Interior, Matteo's farmhouse, kitchen, day. Nazi soldiers crash through the door of Matteo's modest farmhouse, interrupting Matteo and Angelo's meal. They stand in alarm, but soldiers rush right past them. Bedroom. The Nazis check closets and beds, but don't destroy anything. Kitchen. The soldiers stand at attention when Sessler enters. He looks Matteo up and down. Matteo shrugs his arms, knowing nothing, and holds Angelo close. A soldier cries out and pulls Walker's parachute from the chimney. Sessler points his pistol at Matteo's forehead.
Where is he?
He then aims his pistol at Angelo and fires. Angelo falls to the floor dead. Matteo drops to his knees.
Please, it was empty when we found it.
Sessler fires his pistol again, and Matteo falls dead. Sessler calmly holsters his pistol and walks out. Interior, Tino's storehouse, day. Walker awakens and throws off the blanket. He's alone in the shed. He folds 2 blankets. There is little else to do. Exterior, Tino's storehouse, day. Walker exits to explore his surroundings. Tino is not far, washing in the nearby creek. Tino scowls and hisses at him.
Back inside! You cannot be seen!
Interior, Tino's storehouse, day. Chastised, Walker re-enters and tries to explain.
I was just trying to...
Tino throws him against the wall.
Get us both killed. If the Germans see you, they will kill me. And the family that owns the land for Arbor needs you. And anyone who sees you can turn you in for a reward. You cannot be seen.
Tino releases him and takes a calming breath.
If you go outside in daylight again, I will not help you. Might as well turn you in myself.
I understand. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Tino softens a bit and notices the folded blankets.
Take it a blanket. It's a colder tonight.
Exterior, Tino's storehouse, night. Tino and Walker exit the storehouse beneath a waning moon. They're both wearing blankets. Exterior, a hazelnut orchard, night. Crickets chirp as Tino and Walker trudge through rows of short trees planted 5 meters apart. Walker looks at Tino.
Hazelnuts. Already harvested, so the nuts are harder to find. But that also means eat all you like. Longer walk up a hill tonight.
He grins. He and Walker crawl around, searching for nuts. Exterior, Tino's house, night. Tino and Walker approach a 3-story stone house from the back. There's a small exterior door to its basement.
Welcome to Canelli. At least up here, we no worry about you being seen.
Tino unlocks the door for Walker. Interior, Tino's house, basement, night. It's just a storage space, but this one at least has furniture. Chairs, a table, a wash basin, and a couch.
Sleep here tonight. We meet my friends in the morning. Stay.
Tino leaves him, and Walker hears the door lock behind him. Walker curls up like a cat on the couch and is soon asleep.
I stayed in that basement for a week, recuperating from a fall and hiding from the Germans.
Interior, Tino's house, basement, day. Walker is poked awake and is startled to see 4 faces staring at him. One is Tino. He stands to greet his guests.
Buongiorno, Sleepyhead. These are my friends. Let me introduce you to the ragazzi. This is Maurizio, the former mayor here.
Maurizio is 50s, thin, well-dressed, white hair and beard.
Stefano.
Stefano, 18, has a bloody bandage wrapped around his head.
And Camo. Easily remembered because that's all she ever wears.
Camo, 23, wears camouflage pants, her long black curly hair barely tamed in a ponytail, indicative of her feisty spirit.
Your real name is Camo?
None of us use our real names here. These are nom de guerre. Saves the rest of us in case someone is captured and tortured later. So Neither do you. Your name is Rico.
Rico. You women soldiers?
Ah, only someone who has never married would think women cannot fight.
A verbal argument isn't the same.
Without warning, Camo tackles Walker to the ground. As the two wrestle, Maurizio pulls Tino aside. In Italian subtitled,
How do we know he's not a spy? It could be a German plan.
in Italian subtitled,
You will have to prove it more.
after a short tussle, Camo easily bests Walker.
Okay, I give up.
Camo lets him get up. He dusts himself off.
Where'd you learn that?
I had older brothers.
Walker notices the past tense, but doesn't inquire further. Interior, Tino's house basement, night. Walker stares at a map of the area. Italy, Corsica, France, the Mediterranean, and the Alps are clearly labelled. His finger traces out the route from his present location, Canelli, Italy, to France via the Alps. He's interrupted by noise outside, torches. Then Tino and Camo burst into the room. They are followed by Stefano and Maurizio, who ensure Marco, 40s, stays between them. Marco's hands are bound behind his back, and he's gagged.
Rico, forgive us. We need your assistance. Marco D'Allegretti here is guilty of murdering 30 civilians.
How do you know?
This man was the leader of a fascist unit that arrived in Cova on August 29th, 6 weeks ago.
Cova is over by Cugno.
Walker nods, as if this helps immensely.
Once his troops had emptied every house in town, he announced to everyone in the square that in retribution for the nearby partisans' ambush of 3 German soldiers, 30 civilians from this village would be executed. They lined them up, 30 old men, women, and children, as young as 6, and shot them all.
You sure it was this man?
There is no mistake. I know him from before the war, 20 years ago. He wanted to date my wife.
Does he have anything to say in his own defense?
Tino lowers Marco's gag.
I did it. I did it for my country.
You are a fascist pig.
Stefano is about to strike him, but Walker holds up a hand.
So you confess to murdering innocent civilians?
Do you think your bombs have never killed civilians? No one is innocent in a war.
You are a traitor to your country.
In Italian subtitled.
You have no authority here.
In Italian subtitled.
Oh, who has more authority here? The government surrendered. I am the local authority. There is no higher appeal.
In Italian subtitled.
There you're all communist pigs.
Marco spits in disgust. Tino quickly replaces his gag.
On the contrary, we are Christian Democrats, and we do not like a communist any more than you do.
Tino walks over and places a loaded pistol in Walker's hand.
Kill him.
Me? Why me?
Because my friends do not trust you, Jeff. This is how you earn their respect.
I don't know. Killing in cold blood.
This is war. Killing is required.
Walker looks at Marco and at the gun in his hand. Sotto voce.
If you do not shoot him, I will no longer be able to help you.
Camo approaches him too.
You can drop bombs to kill 100 Nazis at once, but not shoot one?
Walker stares at her, then resolves.
You're right.
He marches up to Marco and points the gun at his forehead. In defiance, Marco spits out his gag.
Coward! You won't do it.
He looks Marco dead in the eyes and fires. There is stunned silence as everyone watches the body fall. Then everyone erupts in cheers.
Italian justice.
Walker gets a bear hug from Tino and one from Camo that lingers. He hands the pistol back to Tino.
No, keep it. You'll need it.
Walker isn't sure what to make of the celebration, but from the slaps on the back, it's clear he now has their trust. Everyone else looks happy, but Walker seems conflicted. Interior, Katie's high school classroom, day. Grandpa Walker tells his story to a classroom that is surprisingly engaged. Even Devon looks interested. Katie seems more relaxed now that her peers are warming up to him.
In my opinion, it was either him or me. Self-defense, in the larger sense. He wasn't threatening my life immediately, but he was threatening our collective lives. If we had let him go, he would have come back with a squadron of his friends and killed us all.
So, you killed the guy?
Walker looks Devon directly in the eyes.
Yes, I did. Many of us did things during the war that we're not proud of. But part of the reason you're free to come to school with that haircut is because of the freedoms that I fought for.
Devon is taken aback by his directness and swallows hard. Exterior, Tino's house, basement, day. Walker leaves the house to the sound of chopping wood. Camo wields the axe. Stefano rests on an upturned log nearby.
Buongiorno. You need any help?
No.
You sure? I'm not busy.
Camo stops.
My family has chopped wood on these hills for 1,000 years, and now that you show up, I need your help.
No, I just want to contribute. What should I do?
Camo points.
Fetch water from the creek.
Stefano gets up and grabs 2 pails.
Come, I show you.
Exterior, Tino's village, day. Stefano and Walker amble towards the creek carrying the pails.
Thanks for the rescue. She always like that?
She doesn't like men.
What did I do to her?
Nothing. She's been in a bad mood since Mussolini.
So, what happened to your head?
Stefano looks around, doesn't want to discuss it, but
The Nazis killed 53 people in my village in retaliation for 2 German officers. My entire family, me, my mother, my father, 2 sisters, my grandmother, my brother, everyone was shot once in the head. Then I wake up and the Tino is bandaging my head. He says that the bullet was somehow deflected by my skull. So I have a long scar here. But I breathe. I cannot remember what happened, yet I will never forget. Now I will kill as many Germans as possible before they kill me again.
That's, I don't know what to say.
Say you will help me kill the Germans.
The Germans tried to kill me too. It seems they are bad at killing.
he winks, and Stefano smiles back.
We will show them how to do it.
They get to the creek, and Stefano fills the pails. As he does, Walker notices some small white flowers growing near the water. He picks them. Stefano notices and laughs.
You know what those are? That's a chamomile. Camo for short.
I thought she got her name from the camouflage pants she wears.
That too. You should ask her.
Exterior, Tino's house, day. Walker and Stefano return with 2 pails of water each. Camo still chops wood. Maurizio is here now too.
I see. Camo chops the wood while Rico is out picking flowers.
Walker lowers his pails to present the flowers shyly to Camo.
Out of you.
Camo stares at the flowers and laughs.
What am I supposed to do with this?
Walker is even more embarrassed.
I don't know. Put them in a jar.
Camo takes them, but still isn't impressed.
Flowers do not want to live in a jar. They want to live free. To pluck a flower is to kill it.
Camo places the flowers on the chopping block and decapitates them. As she does, Tino rounds the corner.
Other things must have come to an end. I'll miss you when you are gone, Rico.
Why? Where am I going?
New plan, tomorrow. I'll take you up to Prea in the mountains. To fly back to Corsica in 3 days.
Exterior, the Italian mountains, day. Tino leads Walker, Camo, Stefano and Maurizio up a ridge, each carrying a rifle. It's a stunning view.
I lived with the partisans for months, and I still never got used to how well those people who were born on mountains would walk up and down them with ease. I thought I was in pretty good shape. but even old Maurizio put me to shame.
As they reach the top, Walker is more winded than the others.
You all right, little Rico? Now we go downhill for a bit.
He slaps him on the back and sets off again. Walker tries to walk beside Camo.
Hey, I'm sorry for killing flowers in your name.
Camo purses her lips in a toothless smile.
Will you teach me Italian? I'd like to learn the language.
No need to learn Italian if you're leaving soon.
She looks at him pointedly.
So, what made you fall in with this crowd?
Same as you. Just bad luck.
This time, at least, her smile shows teeth.
Where'd you get the pants?
This makes Camo lose her smile.
That is a story for another time.
I'm afraid I won't have another time. I'm leaving tomorrow.
Sighs.
I took them from a German soldier. He wasn't wearing them anymore.
Oh, so he just gave them to you?
He wasn't going to need them anymore either. I don't want to talk about it.
Camo walks up ahead to Tino. Stefano catches up with Walker.
She told you more than she told me. Maurizio told me the whole story.
And what's that?
A German soldier tried to violate her. She hid a dagger in her hair, which violated him instead.
Walker stops, but Stefano just keeps walking. Exterior, Temple's Mountain Safe House, day. Tino, Walker, Camo, Stefano and Maurizio approach an isolated mountain shack. Neville Temple, 30s, a mustached, shorts-wearing, proper Englishman, sits leisurely by the door.
I do say, the best thing about staying up here is that at least you can always see who's coming.
He grins and slaps Tino on his back.
Benvenute, Tino.
To Walker.
Neville Temple, how do you do?
Walker shakes Temple's extended hand and smiles.
Walker Harris, American.
You don't say. Well, I never would have guessed. Come in. I shall have to introduce you to someone.
Interior, Temple's Mountain Safe House, day. Temple opens the door and sweeps inside, Walker in his wake.
Walker Harris, I should like you to meet Reginald Jorgensen. Claims he's American too, but the name sounds suspiciously Norwegian.
Reggie, 21, a blonde, downed fighter pilot, readily offers Walker a hearty handshake.
Walker.
Call me Reggie.
489th out of Corsica, now.
No shit. I'm USS Corsica too.
Oh, which base?
Alto. You?
Allison. Just south of you.
Where you from?
Oklahoma.
Nebraska. What did you fly?
B-25. You?
P-47s.
Oh, pilot.
That's right.
As they banter, Temple ushers the rest of the gang in, Tino, Camo, Stefano and Maurizio.
Yes, well, as these Yankees compare the length of their planes, I thought the rest of us might fancy a bite to eat, no?
Interior, Temple's Mountain Safe House, night. Temple, Walker, Reggie, Tino, Camo, Stefano and Maurizio eat a hearty soup at a rudimentary table. The four partisans speak Italian at the other end of the table, while the three English speakers converse in English. To Reggie.
How long have we been here?
I was shot down on August 20th, almost 3 months ago. I ejected really low and landed in an orange tree. From there, I watched my fighter explode not 500 meters away.
It was similar with me.
I ran from the site, but was apprehended by a rifle-toting Italian who thought I was German and who I thought was a fascist. Eventually, with the help of Temple here, we got that sorted out.
To Temple.
How could you tell?
I may have access to a radio that I keep well hidden. It took a day, but ultimately I was able to confirm his identity.
What is an Englishman doing in northern Italy anyways?
This is my mission. I'm SOE.
I'm sorry, I've never heard of that.
Just as well, because we don't officially exist.
What does it stand for?
Special Operations Executive. Similar, I believe, to your OSS.
I don't know what that is either.
Office of Strategic Services. I've heard of them.
Oh, are they Army?
No, they're like spies.
Quite. See, my mission here is to facilitate connections between the Italian communists, who hate the Nazis, and the Christian Democrats,
He points at Tino's gang.
who also hate the Nazis. Despite their obvious commonalities, I'm having a devil of a time getting the two groups to cooperate, even for the liberation of their own country. I'm not sure how much a single person could achieve.
Yeah, that does sound difficult.
In the meantime, however, my mission is to get the two of you out safely. Tomorrow, we'll send the Italians home, but Tino will go pick up two other Americans from the other direction and meet us at the airfield.
You have an airfield up here.
Yes. Well, a field might be a more accurate term for it, but it's flat and one can land.
You can command planes to show?
I radio out that we have downed US airmen requiring repatriation, and the Americans pay attention, yes. We have, shall we say, a quiet arrangement with the French.
Good old US of A. Never leave a man behind. Best country on earth.
And a rather boastful one, given that you are typically last to arrive at the party.
What do you mean?
You realise British forces landed in Italy on September 3rd last year, and Italy surrendered on the 8th? American forces didn't land until the 9th, a day afterwards. Not to mention there was a war going on here for over 2 full years before you lot decided to take notice.
Well, I'm not sure what I can do about that. I just do what I'm told.
No, we're not likely to solve the world's problems tonight. Get some rest. We'll have a long walk uphill tomorrow.
I hear that a lot.
Exterior, Temple's mountain safe house, day. Temple confers with Tino, and then Tino waves his goodbyes. To the Americans.
See you tonight.
To the Italians.
See you at home. Ciao.
Tino starts off walking south down the hill. The three other Italians, Maurizio, Stefano, and Camo, commence their descent down the north path. Walker fidgets restlessly.
Camo, wait.
She stops and turns. Walker runs up to her.
I feel bad a bit.
Why?
Because I feel like I just got here and now I'm leaving.
Don't make attachments in wartime. 1 minute you're happy, the next moment your family is dead.
I know how that feels. With my friends, not my family. I'm sorry.
Isn't your fault. If it were, I'd kill you.
Wait, you don't have a knife in your hair there, do you?
He makes a show of looking through her hair. She smiles.
You're not the type to commit to a fight. You just drop your bombs and move on to the next place.
No, I'm not like that.
Then stay.
She looks at him. He crumbles. She resumes walking. Exterior, Italian Alps, day. Temple takes enormous steps as he leads the Americans up a rugged path. Walker and Reggie look very winded. Exterior, mountainous Italian airstrip, day. Temple's airfield is merely a grassy plateau lined by forest on both sides. A single strip of packed earth runs down its middle.
This is it. The planes will land there.
A plane can land in this?
If you know a better airstrip in the area, please do enlighten me.
What time is the pickup?
Midnight.
Midnight. What do we do until then?
Will require lighting. It will take us about an hour to haul enough wood for a fire from there.
Points to the tree line.
To the landing strip. There.
They reluctantly start carrying wood over to the airstrip. Later, now sweating, Reggie places a fairly large branch on top of a pile of wood 4 feet high and dusts his hands.
There. That's enough, isn't it?
Excellent work, gentlemen. Now that you know how it's done, we need 5 more just like it. 3 piles on each side, alternating down the runway. Come along now. No whinging. Just get on with it.
Dissolve to exterior, a mountainous Italian airstrip, twilight. Walker is helping Reggie pile wood when Tino arrives with 2 American pilots following him, Clemmy and Erickson, both 23.
Good timing. We'll need more help to get the runway lights completed before we lose the light. No chin wagging now. Off we go.
Exterior, mountainous Italian airstrip, night. Walker throws his last branch on top of the pile and joins the others seated around it.
Yeah, that better be enough. It's too dark to keep looking.
Well, you never have enough. But sometimes what you have suffices.
To Clemmy.
Walker Harris, 489, Bomb Squadron.
Ardell Clem, 56 fighters. This is Lyndon Erickson, same group.
Oh, you knew each other from base.
Yeah, we must be joined at the hip. Got shot down the same day too.
How long have you been here?
15 weeks.
15. Oh, that's my 2 weeks to shame.
I've been here 12, almost 15.
Hush. You hear that?
They listen. Nothing.
What?
To Tino.
Were you followed?
It is not possible.
Perchance it was an ibex?
What's an ibex?
A mountain goat. Great big curled horns. What do they teach you in American schools these days, anyhow?
They hear something. The dull roar of an approaching plane.
They're early.
Quickly, light the fires. If they can't land, they'll just leave, and they'll only circle once.
The men scramble to get a spark and light the fire, and then run with lit torches to light the other piles. The sounds of a plane encircle them. Clem gets his lit. Walker runs the entire length of the runway. He trips and falls in the dark. His torch goes out. Yelling.
Get that damn fire lit, Walker! If he skips too much runway in landing, he crashes into the trees!
Walker gets up and runs back to the closest fire, Reggie's. He takes off again for the furthest pyre. The plane continues to circle, 3/4 now.
Hurry! Come on! Come on!
Finally, Walker's fire lights up just as the plane completes its circle. The plane comes in for a landing.
Americans! Always late to the bloody party.
The plane lands and rolls to a stop. It's much smaller than anyone was expecting. A Cessna C-34. Temple scowls as he walks up to the plane. The French pilot, 50s, opens the door but doesn't power down, forcing everyone to shout.
How are you fitting 4 people in this thing?
Je suis désolé, on n'a qu'à de place perdu.
J'ai 4 personnes. Il fait évacuer 4.
C'est pas possible, ce serait trop long pour décoller.
Temple turns to the Americans with a decision to make.
There's only room for 2 of you.
I'll go.
No. Clement and Erickson are together. You 2. Load up.
Reggie protests, while Clemmy and Erickson get in the plane.
But I'm the most important here.
They've been here the longest.
The doors close, and the plane accelerates down the runway. Temple, Reggie, Tino, and Walker watch it take off and disappear into the blackness. Soon, they can't even hear it.
So when's he coming back? Tomorrow?
Suddenly, a German accent cries out from the dark tree line.
Halt! Surrender now or die!
The 4 have a deer-in-headlights look, sitting ducks in an open field with fires illuminating them. They crouch and run. Gunfire erupts from 4, maybe 6 positions in the tree line. Tino is shot in the back as he flees. He cries out and falls, but pushes them on.
Find the cover. I'll hold them off.
He loads his rifle and shoots in the German's direction. He manages to wound an approaching German soldier. He fires wildly as German soldiers flank him. Finally, his gun clicks, empty. Temple, Walker, and Reggie make it to the opposite tree line, then look back to see Tino being calmly surrounded by German soldiers, illuminated by firelight. Tino points his gun at them and fires. It clicks empty repeatedly. Walker starts to run back. Temple grabs his arm to stop him.
We have to help him.
There's nothing we can do.
5 German soldiers, including Sessler, stand in a circle around Tino and fire. Walker is incensed.
Bastards.
Walker fires his rifle and hits a soldier. Now it is Temple, Walker, and Reggie who have the advantage of a dark tree line, and the Germans in the illuminated open position. The Germans drop and return fire. Walker hears a ping. He tries to return fire, but his gun no longer works.
My gun's jammed.
We're outnumbered. We've got to go.
We can take him.
Stand down, cowboy. We're outnumbered and outgunned. We're leaving.
Temple leads the way downhill further into the forest. Over by Tino's body, Sessler gestures his soldiers to pursue. Exterior, hilly forest, night. Walker, Temple, and Reggie tumble downhill as fast as they dare in the dark. Germans yell behind them in the distance. Temple falters and grabs a boulder for support. Walker goes back to help.
You all right?
I'm afraid not. I tried to push through it, but they got me.
Temple looks at Walker's rifle.
Looks like they almost got you, too.
Walker examines his weapon. A bullet is lodged in it.
That was the 5th time. Another inch in any direction, and I'd have been dead.
Afraid I wasn't so lucky.
Blood gushes from a gaping wound in Temple's thigh. Reggie returns. Walker uses his belt as a tourniquet as Reggie tries to staunch the bleeding. Temple cries in pain.
Ah!
I had a med kit.
There's nothing closer than the cabin.
No, we'll carry you.
Walker and Reggie lift Temple between them and make it another 20 feet before he stops them.
Stop! Stop! We'll never make it.
We make our stand here then.
2 cowboys with 1 gun between you. You'll do nothing of the sort.
Temple takes inventory on the rock as he speaks.
I've got a rifle with 3 bullets, a pistol with 6, 2 grenades. I'll hold them off as long as I can. Hide until daylight, then head west. Keep the Mediterranean on your left. Walk until they say bonjour.
We're not leaving you.
If you stay, both of you will die tonight. And given that I'm going to die, I'd prefer to save your lives and be remembered as a hero than forgotten. So kindly do me one last favour and bugger off.
He smiles at them grimly. With reluctance, Walker and Reggie walk away, leaving Temple alone. Walker looks back as he leaves. Temple gives him a wave. Later, Temple lies alone in ambush, bleeding profusely. He sees 6 Germans carefully approach his position.
All right, you bastards. Let's see how many of you I can take with me.
Exterior, elsewhere in the Italian forest, night. Walker and Reggie run downhill, but soon hear gunshots behind them. They stop to listen. Several rounds are fired, at least 10, followed by an explosion. Then a second explosion. Then a third. Then there is a single gunshot, followed by silence. Walker and Reggie exchange glances, then walk quietly and slowly downhill. Exterior Alpine Pass day. Walker and Reggie walk casually along a very curvy road.
So what makes you think you're more important than the rest of us?
Reggie hums and haws for a bit.
I'm not supposed to tell you.
Not supposed to tell me what?
Well, obviously, I can't tell you what I'm not supposed to tell you.
This sounds like a childish game.
Sings.
I know something you don't know.
I was sworn to secrecy by the US government, all right?
You're a spy.
Fine. I was recruited by the OSS.
But that doesn't make sense. Why would they pick a pilot?
I was top of my class.
So was I. They didn't pick me.
Reggie shrugs.
You're saying their plan all along was to insert you into northern Italy by you getting shot down?
Walker suddenly tackles Reggie into the ditch.
Hey, what the...
Walker puts his finger to his lips and points ahead.
Germans.
Just ahead of them, on the same road, a unit of German soldiers blocks the road. There could be 20 or 30 of them. Fortunately, they're looking the other way. Reggie and Walker survey the German position.
Think we could slip past?
No, look up there.
Walker points to a machine gun nest high across the pass.
There's probably one on top of us, too. Either one sees us coming and there's 30 Germans on our ass.
So we find another way across.
Going right to the next pass could take a week of walking. And the Germans surely blocked it, too. We have to take them out.
30 Germans. We have 7 bullets. This is impossible.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think the army wants their expensively trained pilots throwing themselves uselessly against German positions.
Yeah, hate to admit it, but there's a steady stream of new recruits and crews are interchangeable.
So where do we go?
Flashback, exterior Alpine Pass day. Camo accuses Walker of lacking fidelity.
You just drop your bombs and move on.
Back to present. Walker stops walking.
We'll stay here. We can join the partisans. They need us.
Long walk back.
Hey, at least it's downhill.
Exterior Tino's house basement night. Walker and Reggie sneak up on the partisan meeting house. Interior Tino's house basement night. Walker opens the door. and immediately has 4 guns pointed at him. He raises his hands in surprise.
Hey, don't shoot!
He sees some familiar faces, Camo, Stefano and Maurizio, and one new one, Gory, 40s, dark, slicked-back hair and earnest eyes, which do not hide his sincerity or ambition.
You came back!
She hugs Walker. Everyone relaxes.
You remember Reggie?
Of course. This is Gory. He's the leader of the partisans in Taggia, just south of here.
Tino.
We heard. Temple?
Walker just shakes his head. Gory shakes his hand.
Temple is a great loss. The Germans plowed the airfield he was using. Probably mined it too. No planes will be landing there anytime soon. And then there's Tino's body.
What happened?
Exterior Tino's village, town square, day. Germans hoist up Tino's body in broad daylight.
The Germans want to make an example of him, so they hung his body in the town square for all to see. They used a gancio.
What's a gancio?
It is like a big fisher hook.
They sometimes execute their people that way. You strangle to death on your own blood. At least Tino was dead first.
Tino's body hangs from a lamppost in the town square.
The Germans left him hanging there as a message and said that if his body is not still hanging there in 3 days when they return, they will liquidate the entire village.
Interior, Tino's basement, night. Gory's eyes flash as he tells the plan to Walker and Reggie.
Those animals.
But this gives us information. Now we know where the Germans are going to be and when. Do not worry, I have a plan. First, we prepare for their arrival.
Exterior, Tino's village, edge of town, day. Stefano and Maurizio assist a grandmother and 2 small kids aged 4 and 7 onto a mule-drawn cart. They wave.
We've evacuated the entire village so that when the Germans return, there would be no one there.
Exterior, Tino's village, town square, day. Camo approaches Tino's body and retches due to the smell, then uses her knife to dig a hole below Tino's swinging body. She drops a canister into the hole, buries it, and carefully pulls the pin.
Then we arrange for a surprise party with a few of our friends.
3 little prongs stick out the ground. Camo backs away. Exterior, Tino's village, edge of town, day. Gory welcomes 4 more armed partisan fighters to town. Exterior, Tino's village, town square, twilight. Walker and Reggie stand with Gory and look around.
So now what?
Gory whistles. 10 partisans stand, revealing their locations, encircling the square.
Do not worry, I have a plan. Maurizio is walking down to Villafranca, the next village, and will ring the church bell after the Germans leave. Once per soldier. Hopefully, it won't be more than 20. When the mine goes off, everyone starts shooting. If we each kill 2, the Germans are defeated. Come, we eat well tonight, for it may be our last. Our friends tell me you love this.
Gory hands Walker a bottle. Walker is elated.
Sti spumante.
Exterior, the church in Villafranca, down the road, day. Maurizio, dressed as a priest, walks against the tide of a passing German unit, smiling and nodding to the soldiers, making the sign of the cross. They wave back, smiling. Once their backs are turned, he gives them the finger. When they've left, he enters the church and rings the bell. Exterior, Tino's village, town square, day. 10 partisans hang around casually until a church bell is heard in the distance. Suddenly, everyone is scrambling to their places. 2 leap behind a concrete wall. Interior, an abandoned house, downstairs, day. Reggie and Walker race through the kitchen towards stairs.
8, 9, 10.
Upstairs, they hide in an upstairs bedroom overlooking the square.
15, 16, 17.
Exterior, Tino's village, day. Camo lays on the balcony of the adjacent house.
21, 22, 23.
Interior, a cafe, day. Stefano leaps behind the counter in a small restaurant. Interior, Gory's basement, day. Gory hides in a bedroom closet near a large window well just off the town square, leaving the door just a bit ajar.
29:30. Merda.
Exterior, Tino's village, day. The bell peals 12 more times as the Germans arrive. 8 soldiers march in formation before a jeep filled with 4 officers, including Sessler. 3 troop trucks follow, each carrying 8 soldiers in the back and 2 in front. The town is deathly quiet as the Germans march through it. They are attentive, but not fearful. They pull up into the town square. Sessler holds up his hand. A German soldier approaches the hanging body, but Sessler stops him.
Halt!
The first troop truck parks just in front of the cafe where Stefano hides. 8 soldiers pour out, looking warily around them. They survey the town. No one can be seen. Tino's body swings in the breeze. Sessler points to it.
Ich schneide ihn los.
The soldier steps up, knife in hand. His boot triggers the 3 prongs sticking up in the air. Click. He freezes, helpless. Sessler dives behind his jeep with 2 others. Everyone who heard the click knows they have 4.5 seconds to find cover. A bouncing Betty launches itself into the air and explodes, dispersing metal pellets like bullets in a complete circle. Sessler's jeep is holed all along its side. 4 German soldiers lie in the street. Then the partisans mercilessly commence firing. The soldier beside Sessler is shot. Sessler returns fire, then abandons that exposed position and goes behind his jeep. Camo opens fire from the balcony and takes out a German soldier across the square. The Germans return fire, but have trouble ascertaining their targets. 2 more German soldiers die before one of the partisans behind the concrete wall is hit. Interior, Gory's basement, day. 2 German soldiers take cover from the carnage in the town square in the window well. Gory has anticipated this. Both of them look out at the square and return fire at Camo on the balcony across it. Their backs are turned to Gory. Gory creeps up silently toward them, 1 pistol in each hand, and shoots them both simultaneously. Then he grins. Exterior, Tino's village, day. Sessler returns fire as the other soldier escorting him is shot too. In German, subtitled.
We are surrounded. Grenades the houses.
Germans start throwing grenades into every house around the square. An explosion in the house below Camo shakes, but does not collapse the structure. Interior, a cafe, day. Stefano looks at 1 grenade in each hand and pulls the pins. Then he leaps over the counter and charges for the troop transport outside, yelling the whole time. Exterior, Tino's village, day. Stefano charges the truck and throws himself at it. The explosion rocks the truck and kills 4 German soldiers around it. Stefano disappears in a cloud of smoke. Interior, an abandoned house upstairs, day. Reggie and Walker are rocked themselves as grenades explode downstairs. Exterior, Tino's village, day. Sessler gestures to his soldiers frantically.
It's upstairs. Grenades the upper floors.
Interior, an abandoned house upstairs, day. Reggie and Walker exchange glances.
We need to leave.
You want to run now?
This is not a defensible position. Stay and die if you prefer.
Walker gets up and follows Reggie down the stairs. Interior, an abandoned house downstairs, day. The kitchen area is destroyed, as is the stair railing, but the stairs still work. Reggie and Walker tumble down them.
Yeah, we take out the other trucks. The Germans can't escape. Come on.
They run out the back of the house. Exterior, an abandoned house, day. Reggie and Walker escape the house and creep quickly around the backs of the houses. 2 troop trucks remain functional. As they run by, they each use a pistol shot to take out a tire. The second truck leans over on 2 flat tires. Camo sees them and shoots the driver, protecting the last truck. Walker sees this and looks back. Camo waves just as a grenade is thrown onto her floor of her building. She takes a quick look at it and disappears, right before it explodes.
No!
More shots encourage Walker and Reggie to hop in the truck. Walker drives and turns around, not caring that he smashes through a retail shop window while doing so. The truck takes off down the road. A few Germans give chase on foot or fire at it, but neither is effective. The soldiers soon give up. Interior, exterior, the German truck, day. Walker and Reggie are elated.
We did it.
Then a plane buzzes them low overhead.
What is that?
It's a P-47. It's one of ours.
Their celebration is cut short when it turns 270 degrees to the right and returns, guns blazing, to strafe them.
Why is it shooting at us?
Because we're driving a German truck.
The fighters' machine guns rip through the back, puncturing a tire and the gas tank. Gas spills. Walker struggles to retain control of the vehicle as it swerves on the narrow road.
It's coming back for another pass.
There's only one road. We're sitting ducks.
Sure enough, the plane circles another 270 degrees to the right to attack from the front.
We gotta go.
Jump.
Walker and Reggie both jump out the passenger door of the stolen truck on the uphill side. Driverless, the truck fails to negotiate a corner and sails off the edge down the hill. The plane strafes the truck in midair and hits it. The explosion is spectacular.
Yep, that was the 6th time I died.
From the village, Gory sees the German truck leave the road and explode. He does not see the two jump out the far side. Interior, Esther's house, day. Esther Harris's vacuuming is interrupted by the doorbell. She turns off the vacuum and waddles to the front door. A Lieutenant 20s stands on her porch in full dress. An Army chaplain 40s stands contritely beside him, cross and clerical collar visible. The lieutenant removes his hat.
No. No. No!
Esther collapses sobbing. The chaplain moves to comfort her. Interior, Tino's basement, night. Gory and Maurizio change Camo's bandages on her arm.
Any news about Rico and the American?
They were in the German truck.
Did you see the explosion?
Gory nods, sadly. Camo lowers her eyes. A noise outside means they all grab their weapons. Walker and Reggie barge in.
Are you ghosts? It is as if the two of you cannot die. I saw the truck explode.
We jumped from the other side.
Gory smiles and embraces them, hugs all round.
Did Stefano?
Shakes his head.
He died killing many Germans.
To Camo.
You're alive.
I saw them.
Grenade your position.
The grenade missed, but jumping from the second floor broke my arm. I passed out, and when I woke up, the fight was over.
We won, except that we didn't.
What does that mean?
The Germans raised Villafranca in retribution. We killed 30 Germans, so on Sessler's orders, they killed 300 civilians.
How can we continue to fight when we endanger our own people?
We did not liquidate Villafranca. The Nazis did. That is on them.
But in retaliation for what we did, which is in retaliation for what they did, which was in response to what we do. When does it stop?
So we should stop fighting? That lets the Nazis win. What kind of a life is that?
If we continue this fight, the result is our own end.
No. The result is our own freedom.
He's right. You can't give up now.
If you fight,
yes, some Italians will die.
but if we lay
Down our
down
weapons now and let the Germans stay.
even more,
More Italians will die over the next 10 years.
freedom is worth
Fighting
fighting.
for.
Everyone pauses to consider this.
This is why we like the Americans. Such optimism. Unfortunately, the Germans have moved an entire battalion of forces into Sanremo, near the coast.
I wish they would give up and go home.
We will make them go home.
Instead of abandoning this area, they are doubling down on it.
What's so important to them here?
The way I see it, they are losing, and they know it. The Russians approach from the east and are soon on German soil. The Americans have landed on 2 coasts in France, but went north around the Alps and are coming up through Italy. When Russian artillery starts pounding Berlin, where does Hitler go?
Gore pauses for effect. Everyone shrugs. They don't know.
There are rumors of a hidden Nazi fortress in the Bavarian mountains. but that is just delays the inevitable. The Allies will surround it eventually. If Hitler is going to escape, it is through here.
Here, as in this village.
Genoa specifically. Since Germany annexed Austria in 38, Italy and Germany are neighbors, and Italy has access to the Mediterranean. Whether it's by plane or by car, he needs a deep seaport to escape, not Venice. He has to slip through south out of Europe.
And go where?
Probably Argentina, I don't know.
He'd have to get by Gibraltar.
Easy enough by submarine.
That does explain the buildup of troops in this area, when logically they'd be recalled to defend the fatherland.
So now what?
I'm taking you down to Badalucco. I know it's just where we can hide you.
Walker and Reggie exchange worried glances.
Don't worry. I have a plan.
Exterior, Paolo's house, twilight. Gory leads Walker and Reggie up to an old but well-maintained house beside a terraced olive grove. He knocks on the door. Isabella, 14, with long hair and doe-like eyes, opens it.
See?
Isabella, you grow more beautiful each day. Is your father home?
Papa?
She leaves. Her father, Paolo, 40s, who obviously has never missed a meal in his entire life, comes to the door.
Gory.
Paolo, these are my friends I was telling you about.
Exterior, Paolo's olive grove, twilight. Paolo guides Gory, Walker and Reggie along a terrace.
It is not large, but it holds two. And absolutely no one but me and Gory knows it exists.
Paolo walks by a pile of rocks, then moves 3 of them. A hole appears behind them.
It is not much, but it is hidden. Go in, take a look.
Interior, a tiny cave in Paolo's olive grove, twilight. Walker crawls in and Reggie follows. It's no larger than a bathroom with half the vertical space. A straw mattress lines each wall. Calls out to Paolo.
Yes, this will do.
Gory puts his face through the door.
Not like you have much choice.
How long do we have to do this?
Probably just a couple of days. I'll return for you once it's safe.
They pile up rocks outside to hide the entrance. It's pitch dark until Reggie lights a match, then the kerosene lantern.
Home sweet home.
Interior, a tiny cave in Paolo's olive grove, day. A shaft of sunlight illuminates the lantern and crawls across the floor. Reggie and Walker are awakened by Paolo's voice.
Buongiorno. Can you two come out there, please?
It seems odd, but Walker and Reggie have no reason not to comply. Walker pushes rocks aside. Exterior, Paolo's olive grove, day. When they emerge, however, they are greeted not only by blinding sunlight and a pleading Paolo, but also 6 German soldiers pointing guns at them. Sessler stands behind, holding Isabella tightly by her hair. Walker blinks and puts his hands in the air. Reggie follows and does the same. Walker looks at Paolo.
Forgive me. They threatened to rape my daughter.
The closest German soldier backhands him across the face.
It's okay. We understand.
Americans?
To Paolo.
And I thought you were merely aiding partisans. Instead, you are harboring spies.
Paolo drops to his knees.
Please, spare my daughter.
Sessler throws Isabella away and approaches Paolo coldly.
The penalty for espionage is death.
Sessler holds up his pistol to Paolo's forehead and fires. Paolo falls. Isabella screams and runs to her father's body. Sessler calmly reholsters his weapon.
Let's go. Back to San Remo.
The German soldiers wave Walker and Reggie forward, past the body of Paolo and his weeping daughter. Reggie and Walker are searched, and the Nazis confiscate Walker's photo of Alice. They are cuffed behind the back and hustled into the back of a police van. It drives away. Exterior, Carcere di Marassi. Front, night. Marassi Prison in Genoa is an imposing stone fortress constructed 1,200 years ago. A guard tower in each corner overlooks the central walled courtyard. The main entranceway is a wooden, hinged gate in an arched stone passageway in the centre of the front administration building. Guards open the gate and the police van enters. Exterior, Carcere di Marassi, Courtyard, night. The police van stops and Walker and Reggie are pulled out of it. They exchange a look before they are separated. Interior, Carceri di Marassi, stairwell. Walker is led down several flights of stairs and through several locked doors. It's a labyrinth underground and dark. Electric lights with exposed wiring flicker unreliably. A massive blood stain smears the wall that Walker walks past. Interior, Carceri di Marassi, Walker's cell. 2 guards usher him to his cell, and it's disgusting. 7 feet by 10 feet wide, cold stone walls, and 0 furniture or plumbing, only putrid straw. A cockroach scurries in the corner. The door rattles closed behind him.
Hands!
Walker puts his hands through the door. A 3-inch slot and small shelf there allows things to be passed through the bars. They uncuff his hands and walk away. When the guards get to the end of the hallway, they flick out the light, and it falls pitch black. Walker lies down. The only sound is his breathing. Later, the hallway light comes on, and eventually a guard puts a red wooden bowl on the door shelf and leaves. No spoon. It's full of some brownish, watery soup. Walker slurps it up. Once it's empty, he notices 3 strange scratch marks on the bottom of the bowl, which point to a chip in the rim. He investigates, but nothing seems to come of that. It's a bowl. Walker puts the red bowl in the corner of his cell. Later, Walker looks as far as he can down the hallway.
Hey, let me out. I have to go to the bathroom. This is serious.
Only silence responds.
Can anyone hear me? You have to let me out.
I can't hold it any longer.
Walker looks at the red bowl in the corner. Later, Walker drops his pants and squats over the red bowl. He's revolted by his own actions.
No paper, of course.
He puts the red bowl on the door shelf and gets as far away from it as possible. Later, a guard walks by, picks up the red bowl and walks away. Walker cowers in the corner. The lights go out. Later, the lights go on. A red bowl is placed on the shelf by a guard. Walker approaches it warily. Inside, the same nebulous brown soup. He slurps it up, but his eyes go wide when he finishes it. The same scratch marks are on the bottom of the bowl, pointing to the same chipped spot on the rim. He retches, drops the bowl, holds his stomach, and curls up in the corner. Montage. Walker in the cell. A. The hall lights go on. A red bowl is placed on the door. Walker removes it. Walker replaces it. The red bowl is removed. The lights go off. B. The hall lights go on. A red bowl is placed on the door. Walker eats. The lights flicker as Walker hears muffled screams through stone walls. Somewhere close by, a man is being tortured. The red bowl is removed. The lights go off. C. The hall lights go on. A red bowl is placed on the door. Walker removes it. Walker replaces it. The red bowl is removed. The lights go off. D. The lights go on, revealing Walker in a disheveled state. He hasn't been allowed to shower or shave. Walker rips his ragged British uniform and uses his fingernails and the strip of cloth to brush his teeth. Later. The lights go on. Walker squints at the lights. This time the door opens. 2 guards beckon him out.
Rouse!
With trepidation, Walker is escorted out of the cell. Interior, Carceri di Marassi, Sessler's office. Walker is escorted into a tidy office. The guards remain by the door. Sessler sits at his desk, but Walker is most interested in the clock on the wall, which reads 7:30.
Is that AM or PM?
Sessler looks at the clock and laughs at him.
I say, hey, it's time to eat. Come.
He gestures to a table set with silver place settings for 2. 2 plates rest beneath silver domed plate covers, and crystal wine glasses await an open bottle of French red wine. Sessler walks over to a phonograph and selects an LP. Bach's Goldberg Variations fill the air.
You like Bach? One of our best. All the great composers are German. Mozart, Beethoven, Schubert, Schumann, Brahms, Wagner, Haydn. Even Handel was born in Germany, you know? What did the Americans contribute to music, huh? Please, tell me.
Sessler sits at the table while a guard pulls out a chair. He puts the napkin in his shirt.
I invite you to join me for dinner.
Walker moves instantly toward the empty seat, but
On one condition.
Walker stops in his tracks.
What's that?
You will tell me everything you know about the partisan activities in this sector.
Walker returns to rigidly standing at attention.
Oh, come now. Let us put all this behind us and talk like civilized men. You must be hungry.
Walker Harris, Technical Sergeant number 38449825.
I'm told, for example, that you had something to do with the murder of an Italian police officer, Marco D'Algretti. Do you know him?
Walker tries to hide the look of recognition on his face.
I've heard from multiple sources he was executed by an American spy. But things happen in war. People disappear without a trace. Perhaps it was vigilantes in the mountains settling old family feuds. To be convenient to limit on the Americans who were just passing through. Tell me where I can find the partisans, and I forget about charging you with murder.
The guard lifts off both plate covers. A large grilled steak, baked potato with sour cream and butter, and garden peas. The guard pours 2 glasses of wine. Sessler sniffs his glass.
Ah, the French. They have truly mastered the art of red wine. Fortunately, all vineyards are German now. I trust you like medium rare. Come, eat all you like. Just tell me what you know.
Walker inhales as many calories as possible through his nose.
Walker Harris, Technical Sergeant number 38449825.
Sessler digs into the meal and relishes every bite.
Such admirable dedication. I applaud you. But enough pageantry. You have something I want, and I have something you want. It's a simple trade. Sit, have a drink.
Walker salivates again at the meal, but remains rigid.
Walker Harris, Technical Sergeant number 38449825.
You're acting like a prisoner of war. I assure you I am under no such requirement to respect that.
The Geneva Convention
does not apply to spies, and you are a spy. Where's your American uniform, Hein? No one knows you are here. Your capture has not been reported. If you die here, your body will never be found. Do you not want to see home again? What about your mother? Do you not want to get married someday? Perhaps?
He takes out the photo of Alice, flips it over and reads,
Come back home safe, Walker. Love, Alice. How sweet.
Walker Harris, Technical Sergeant number 38449825.
Sessler puts down his knife and fork.
All right, enough games. This is the last time I ask nicely. Tell me what I want to know, spy.
Walker lunges for the unused steak knife, but the guards behind him were prepared for precisely this. Walker gets it into his hand, but the guards each have one of his arms. Walker quickly realizes the fight is futile. They disarm him.
Trying to kill me, Hein? After I've been so nice to you. Sehr gut. No more Herr Nice Guy.
Sessler waves to the 2 guards.
Bring ihn weg. Lass ihn gefesselt.
As they cuff him behind the back and take him out of the room, Sessler helps himself to the second plate of food. Interior, Carceri di Marassi, Walker's cell. Walker, still cuffed, is thrown into his cell. He places his hands through the slot in the door, but the guards walk away.
Hey, my cuffs! Oh, you bastards, this is inhumane!
Walker tries to make himself comfortable on his straw bed. To himself.
I will not beg. I am a human being. I am an American soldier. My name is Walker Harris. I will not beg.
The hallway lights go off. Later. The hall lights go on. A red bowl is placed on the door. Hands still cuffed behind him, Walker removes it with difficulty and places it on the floor. Of course, some spills.
It's amazing how quickly your life can change. 1 minute you think things couldn't possibly get any worse. And then they do.
Walker turns around to sip from it. More spills. Desperate, Walker laps it up from the floor. He starts crying from the realization of how desperate he has become. With difficulty, Walker lowers his pants and hovers over the red bowl, hands still cuffed. He manages to back up and place the bowl back on the shelf. From the corner, Walker watches the red bowl get removed. The lights go off. Over black.
I will not beg. I'm a human being. I'm an American soldier. My name is Walker Harris. I will not beg.
Later. The lights flicker on. Walker curls motionless in the corner. His cell door is unlocked. 2 guards pull him to his feet and escort him out, still cuffed. Interior, Carceri de Marassi, the interrogation room. Walker is carried to a new room, decorated only with a small central table and 2 chairs. A single bare light bulb dangles above it. 2 switches, one small, one large, adorn the walls. A second handcuff locks his cuffed hands to a closed hook that protrudes from the middle of the table. Emaciated and weak, Walker struggles in vain. The table is bolted down. The guards turn off the light and leave Walker secured. Yells in frustration.
What do you want from me?
Sessler opens the door and flicks on the light switch.
I told you what I wanted. Tell me about the partisan activities in this sector.
Technical Sergeant number 3844.
Oh, spare me.
25.
I know everything. Your friend Reginald and I had a lovely chat over a delicious meal. He said the person who shot Marco D'Agretti was you.
He wasn't even there.
Oh? So do you know something about it? Anything you care to share?
Harris, Technical Sergeant number 3844.
Sessler hits Walker brutally across the face. Walker breathes, then slowly returns Sessler's gaze. Sessler hits him again. This time, Walker keeps his gaze down.
I tried the nice way, but I do have other manners of persuasion.
He walks to the door and opens it. A hulking beast of a man, Mongol, 40s, who must weigh 300 pounds with a crew cut and a pockmarked face, waits outside and enters. In German, subtitled.
Mongol, when I come back, he better not be able to stand.
The Mongol slaps a baton into his palm, then hits Walker with it savagely across the torso. With his hands cuffed to the table, Walker can hardly dodge the blows. Interior, Carceri de Marassi, the hallway outside. Sessler closes the door to the interrogation room and, as he walks away, hums the same tune from Brahms' Requiem, second movement. The sounds of the beating from within continue. Interior, Carceri de Marassi, the interrogation room. Sessler enters the room again. Walker is not standing. His arms are still cuffed behind him to the center of the table, his arms stretched out behind, but his legs have faltered. He's bloody and can't even look up. In German, subtitled.
Good. Take him to his cell.
2 guards enter behind him, unchain him, and carry him out. Interior, Carceri de Marassi, Walker's cell. The guards drop Walker in his cell, still cuffed. He doesn't move. They leave him and lock the door. The hallway lights go off. The hallway lights turn on. Walker hasn't moved. The red bowl is placed on the shelf. Walker still doesn't move.
My head is bloody, but unbowed. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. I am hardy, like the Maquis. I will not beg.
The red bowl is removed from the shelf. The lights go off. Later, the lights go on. The same 2 guards enter and pick Walker up. Walker is groggy and carried along by the guards.
I realized there were things I could change and things I couldn't. Some things were worth fighting for, like staying alive. And that even if they might injure my body, they could not touch my soul or weaken my spirit.
Interior, Carceri de Marassi, the interrogation room. The guards carry in Walker and cuff each hand to a different hook on the sides of the table. He can barely stand on his own already. Now he's awkwardly pulled backward, off balance. Sessler walks in and raises his black, leather-gloved hand. Walker does not cower. Surprised, Sessler stays his hand.
You have had enough? You are ready to talk?
Walker just stares at Sessler in defiance.
Do not hurt me.
No? We'll see about that. I have another trick to show you. One that will make you forget all the pain you are in.
He walks to the larger switch on the wall and pulls it. The hooks in the table to which Walker is cuffed become electrified. Lights flicker. Walker screams, but cannot escape. Burn marks appear on his wrists, a whiff of smoke. Sessler turns the switch off.
Ugh, it's that smell. Had enough, no? You want more then?
Sessler flips the switch again. Walker's entire body shakes. He screams again, then stops and collapses, unresponsive.
Überfluffen.
One guard feels Walker's neck, then shakes his head.
Kein Puls.
Sessler stares at Walker's body, then shrugs.
Das ist schade.
Sessler walks out. The German guards uncuff Walker. His body collapses to the floor. The guards leave him there. Interior, Katie's high school classroom, day. An entire room of teenage jaws hang agape at Walker's story.
That was the 7th time I died. My heart stopped beating for who knows how long. And when I came back, I figured it had to be for a reason.
So you died? Like literally died?
Interior, Carcere di Marassi, the interrogation room. Walker hasn't moved. The light bulb no longer swings.
Who can say if I did or didn't?
Suddenly, Walker gasps for air. He's in too much pain to move, however, and lies there. 2 guards enter and chit-chat in Italian while moving him. All of their dialogue should be subtitled in English.
This place is a corpse factory, I say. New graves every single day.
Here's another one. What's this? 3 now today?
It doesn't matter. Put them all in the same hole. Not like he cares.
Wait, this one is still alive.
Walker cannot fight or even speak, but his eyes move.
They said he was dead.
They'll just torture him again. He's gonna wish he stayed dead.
Now, what do we do with him?
We could throw him in the same hole as the other ones and fill it. No one would know.
I don't want to carry him upstairs. We don't have to. Let's just put him back in the cell. But he doesn't survive the night anyway.
Why do today what we can put off until tomorrow?
They lift him and carry him off. Interior, Carcere di Marassi, Walker's cell. The 2 Italian guards deposit Walker back in his cell. Once they leave and lock the door, Walker moves, just a bit. He rubs his burnt wrists. At least he's not handcuffed anymore. The lights turn off. Later, the lights turn on. A red bowl is placed on the shelf. Walker drags himself over to it and drinks it all. He lies there staring at the ceiling, barely there. The lights turn off. Later, the lights go on. The same 2 German guards as before enter and pick Walker up. Interior, Carcere di Marassi, the hallway outside. Walker is weak but defiant as they drag him down the hall.
Do your worst. I've already died 7 times. What's one more?
They haul him into the torture chamber regardless. Interior, Carcere di Marassi, the interrogation room. This time, however, the room is set up differently. Reggie stands there, not much worse for wear, but in cuffs, a guard at each side, and Sessler sits at the table.
Walker, you look like shit.
Come in. We were just about to begin. It seems you are proving difficult to kill. But court is now in session. Walker Harris and Reginald Jorgensen, you are both hereby charged with espionage. How do you plead?
Walker Harris, technical sergeant.
With a pained, raised eyebrow from Sessler, the guard beside Walker punches him in the stomach. Walker doubles over. To Reggie.
Do you wish to enter a plea?
Not guilty.
To Walker.
If you do not enter a plea, I will enter one for you.
Not guilty.
Excellent. We're finally getting somewhere. Let the trial commence. The prosecution has presented their case. I have before me several signed statements attesting to your guilt. Sadly, none of the witnesses are able to be with us here today. Given that you were not wearing an American aviator uniform when you were captured, it is the determination of this court that you were engaged in espionage, the penalty for which is death. Due to the preponderance of evidence, this court declares you both guilty. You will be executed by Ferry Squad at noon on Monday. Enjoy your weekend.
Sessler makes a show of ripping Walker's photo of Alice in half 3 times and throwing the pieces on the floor. He nods, and the guards drag Walker back out of the room.
Wait, what day is it? What day is it?
Interior, Carceri di Marassi, Walker's cell. The guards throw Walker back in his cell and lock the door.
It's Good Friday.
The guards walk away and turn out the lights. Later, the lights come on. The red bowl is supplied. Walker eats it. Then a guard escorts a visitor to Walker.
You are permitted a visit to make your confession.
He moves aside to let the priest enter. It's Maurizio.
Bless you, my child.
He makes the sign of the cross, but abandons it when he sees the guard is no longer watching. He bends down to whisper.
When you hear the bells on Easter Sunday, the partisans will attack. Don't give up hope. The Allies are only 3 days away. Eat this. You need your strength. You look like a sheep.
He puts a loaf of bread in Walker's hands. He smells it, rips into it desperately, and chews thankfully as he listens.
Sorry, I can't stay long, but I will see you again. I brought you this. We have not forgotten.
He puts something in Walker's hand and signals for the guard to let him out. Walker hides the bread behind him. Once they leave, he looks at what is in his hand. It's a chamomile. Interior, Carceri di Marassi, Walker's cell. The hallway lights go on, waking Walker from his sleep. 2 German guards unlock his cell, enter, and lift him up.
Oh, what's going on?
Time for your execution.
Walker protests as he's carried away.
No, wait, that's tomorrow.
Interior, Carceri di Marassi, stairwell. Walker is pushed ahead of the guards up the stairs at gunpoint. His dishevelled, unshaven mess. He weighed 30 more pounds when he walked down these stairs 2 months ago. Exterior, Carceri di Marassi, courtyard, day. Walker shields his eyes from the glaring sun. He hasn't seen the sun in weeks. When his eyes adjust, he sees Reggie being brought out too. His 2 guards deliver him and leave. They are brought together in the back northwest corner of the courtyard. There's a door at the base of the tower which would provide access to the stairwell inside. 2 guards hand Walker and Reggie shovels and point.
Dig. 1 hole. 6 feet long.
He looks at Walker.
Maybe 5.5.
He laughs at his own joke and motions. Walker and Reggie look at each other and start shoveling reluctantly.
What day is it?
Sunday.
Easter Sunday?
Yep.
I thought we had 1 more day.
Guess they changed their minds.
Hey, don't carry so much dirt in your shovel.
Digging my own grave in a Nazi prison. That was my 8th death.
Later. Progress is slow but inevitable. Walker and Reggie stand in a hole now 3 feet deep.
What time is it?
Reggie tries to tell from the sun.
Gotta be almost noon.
Church bells start ringing, far away, and on cue the partisans start firing, much closer. Exterior, Carceri di Marassi, front, day. Partisans start shooting at the prison front towers from nearby rooftops, residential windows, and from behind vehicles on the street. Glass cracks and shatters. Maurizio removes a Sten machine gun from beneath his priestly robes and fires at the guards near the prison gate. Gori pulls the pin out of a grenade and hurls it directly at the prison gate. Exterior, Carceri di Marassi inside the prison, day. The two front towers of the prison are under attack. Each tower holds 3 guards and 1 anchored machine gun. The prison gates shake as a grenade goes off before them, but they hold. A German guard falls from the wall inside the prison, shot. One of the 2 guards supervising Reggie and Walker takes off for the prison entrance. In German,
Watch them.
subtitled.
Watch them.
Walker and Reggie both stand in a hole, unsure what to do. The other guard looks helplessly as the rear 2 towers are evacuated by all but one of the guards in them. 2 guards race along the walls on each side. One of them yells down, in German, subtitled,
We're under attack. To the front!
as he runs to assist his comrades. The guard remaining with Walker and Reggie tries to help and fiddles with his keys to the courtyard door to the tower. Walker and Reggie look at each other and leap out of the grave. Walker sends a shovelful of dirt at the guard's face and never sees Reggie's shovel swing directly at his head. He's hit and falls back against the door, knocked out. His keys fall to the ground.
You could have waited until it showed us which key.
Reggie tries every key in the door.
I'll try to remember that next time I break out of a Nazi prison.
Hurry.
A guard spies them from the wall.
Halt!
The guard on the wall shoots. Walker finds the knocked-out guard's pistol, drops back into the grave for cover, and returns fire. Bullets impact the tiny pile of dirt just made. He fires twice, and his last shot hits its mark. The German guard on the wall grabs his chest and wordlessly falls. Reggie finally succeeds in opening the tower door. Walker and Reggie plunge into the northwest tower. Interior, Carceri di Marassi, rear guard tower stairs, day. Gun in hand, Walker and Reggie creep up the spiral stone stairs. Sunlight pours in through the access above. When movement is seen blocking that light, Walker grabs the metal handrail to the stairs and leaps over it. Just in time, too, as the German soldier above fires his pistol at them. Bullets spark off the wall and the stairs. Reggie cries out when a bullet ricochets off the wall and grazes his left shoulder. Luckily, it's not a serious wound. Walker would have fallen 2 stories had he not been holding on tightly to the handrail. Hanging from it into the abyss, he fires from the unexpected position and hits the German soldier above. He falls and rolls down the stairs. The handrail wasn't designed to hold so much weight, however, and the bolt holding it into the stairwell fails. The railing, with Walker hanging on, falls out of the stairs. Walker slips. His grip slides down the broken railing. Just when his grip is about to give, Reggie grabs his wrist with his uninjured right arm and pulls up.
Thanks. You hurt?
It's nothing. Let's go.
Walker and Reggie continue up the stairs. Interior, Carceri di Marassi, rear guard tower, day. Walker and Reggie enter the guard room. It's now empty. A Vickers heavy machine gun, a remnant from World War I, stands bolted to the floor, pointed outwards. But it pivots. It could be aimed outside or into the courtyard. A full box of ammo lies next to it, already loaded in. Walker swivels it to aim at the other rear guard tower, where one guard stands looking at them and points. Walker opens fire on the northeast tower with the Vickers. The guard runs for his own machine gun, but doesn't make it. He shakes as he's hit by multiple bullets. Guards in the front southwest tower see what is happening behind them and swivel their machine gun to point down along the wall of the prison courtyard. Walker swivels over in response and yells as he ducks down, firing blindly. A hail of bullets splinters wood in their tower, and Walker and Reggie take cover. The box of ammo is now empty.
We're out of bullets.
There's no way out of this tower.
Exterior, Carceri di Marassi, front, day. From outside the prison, the partisans on the rooftop see the machine gun in the southeast tower swivel to point back inside the prison and fire. The machine gunner's back is now towards them. Interior, Carceri di Marassi, rear guard tower, day. Bullets still keep hitting their tower. Then they stop. An eerie silence. All of the shooting has ceased. Walker dares peek out. The southwest guard tower is full of German bodies. Beyond it, a partisan stands on the rooftop, fist raised in triumph, arm in a sling, wearing camouflage pants. It's Camo. She jumps down.
That it? Is it over?
One way to find out.
How's that?
They open the front gate.
Exterior, Carceri de Marassi, right prison wall, day. Walker and Reggie crouch run along the wall, but it's impossible to not be seen. Below, Sessler, Mongol, and 2 guards hop into a jeep, fire it up and drive it through the weakened prison gate. Exterior, Carceri de Marassi, front, day. 2 partisans are warily approaching the prison gate when it bursts open. Sessler's jeep flies out of the prison, pistols firing. The partisans dive out of the way. The partisans return fire, but the jeep is already down the street. Gori watches it drive away.
We'll get you yet.
He turns to see Walker and Reggie emerging from the prison. A huge grin erupts on his face and his arms open wide.
I told you I had a plan.
Walker and Reggie embrace Gori and Maurizio. Camo joins them too and hugs Walker.
Now what?
Walker holds up his prized set of stolen keys.
We free every single person inside.
Interior, Carceri de Marassi, cells, day. Walker unlocks every door in the hall. Mystified, frightened prisoners step out of their cells with trepidation. Camo helps a frail old man up the stairs. Exterior, Carceri de Marassi, front, day. Prisoners squint from sunlight not seen in weeks. Some meander aimlessly with nowhere to go. Others run through the prison gate joyously and don't stop running. Most are content to exit the prison and sit in the sun on the sidewalk in front of it. Gori confers with some partisans, then approaches Walker, Camo, Maurizio, and Reggie.
One more thing we need to do. Seems the Germans are making their last stand at the Forte di San Martino by the harbor.
What is that?
Exterior, Harbour Fort, day, establishing. A stone fortress overlooks the harbour from the closest hill.
An old medieval fortress that protects the harbor.
Inside, an enormous military gun 5 meters long points out to sea on an arc of rails. Soldiers elevate its angle higher.
The gun there is what's preventing the Allies from landing.
The gun fires at a ship 4 miles out to sea.
The French destroyer Jeanne d'Arc is shelling it, but the Allies can't send in troops until that gun is taken out or taken over.
The French destroyer fires back, but the ship's guns are just out of range. Both shots land short. Exterior, Carceri de Marassi, front, day. Gori tries to convince his friends to do one more mission.
Can we not rest for a little? Have we not had enough fighting for one day?
Walker looks at the beleaguered faces around him. An elderly woman looks with a vacant stare in her eyes. A young orphan in dishevelled clothes sits forlorn on the sidewalk. To Maurizio,
I spent 3 months in there. God, it's good to see the sun again. But you know what's even better? Living in a free country.
to everyone.
We cannot rest until the Nazis have been sent back to their own land. We're so close, we can't give up now.
We must fight for our freedom.
A small crowd has gathered. They rally to his call and cheer.
This is why we like the Americans.
Great. So take over a military fortress. Just how are we supposed to do that?
Do not worry. I have a plan.
Could that plan perhaps include finding me a razor?
Exterior, Harbour Fort, day. A freshly shaved Walker, Reggie, Gori, Camo, and Maurizio stand together before the medieval fortress. Reggie's shoulder is bandaged.
It would take an army to take that thing.
Look around you. We are an army.
Over 100 armed partisans are with them, of all ages.
These people have no training. The Germans inside have discipline, superior firepower, and an excellent defensive position.
Ah, but we have numbers on our side and the truth. This is our country, and they know we are willing to die for it.
I have a suggestion before hundreds die in a fight to death. Why don't we just ask them if they'll surrender?
Reggie laughs, but Gory stares at him in amazement.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
So stupid it might just work. Come.
He drops his rifle and walks toward the massive closed front door of the fortress. Walker follows incredulously. When Gory and Walker are 2/3 across the lawn, Gory pulls out a white handkerchief and waves it. There is no response from inside.
They could shoot us down any moment.
Yes, but that makes them less likely to see the dawn tomorrow.
Finally, the massive doors to the fortress creak open, just a bit. 2 German officers emerge, Mongol and Sessler. Sessler strides over pompously, but cannot hide his shock when he recognizes Walker.
I told you. Last time I saw you, you were digging your own grave.
Yeah, takes a lot to kill me, it seems.
Sessler looks Gory up and down dismissively.
You do not know.
Call me Gory, the leader here. Today, I am the mayor of Genoa. We come to discuss the terms of your surrender.
You're joking.
Oh, I am not. You are surrounded.
You would lose hundreds of people if attacked.
Perhaps, yes, but you would lose everyone. You would be dead before sunset. The question is, do you want to be alive tomorrow?
Sessler purses his lips in frustration.
What are your terms?
Leave your weapons, walk out of the fortress, and you will all be treated as prisoners of war.
I am a Kofetan lieutenant. I absolutely will not surrender to a terrorist or an enlisted man.
So if we bring a military officer here tomorrow, do we have your word that you will surrender?
Yes, do it.
We'll meet right here again in the morning then. Sleep well.
Gory turns abruptly and walks away. Walker follows him.
They don't deserve to be treated as prisoners of war.
Every captive deserves to be treated as a prisoner of war. But don't worry. I intend to put him in your former cell. Poetic justice.
Walker smiles, then winces in pain. He won't show Sessler. Exterior, Harbour Fort, night. The fires of hundreds of torches surround the fortress. Walker watches Gory light another one.
You're making them think they're surrounded by a large army?
Ah, but this is not a lie. They are. Every Italian civilian is a soldier.
Lights appear in the windows of every single harbour-facing window in the entire town. A single tear rolls down Walker's cheek. He winces, holds his chest, and has to sit down. Exterior Harbour Fort, day. Walker and Gory again approach the fortress and wait.
I've made arrangements with the Americans. Everything is in place.
All right then. Hope this works.
The door creaks and Sessler and Mongol emerge.
Well?
We have a brigadier general here. You will surrender to a general?
Yes.
Captain Sessler, I present to you Brigadier General Benjamin Davis.
General Benjamin Davis, 50s, America's first African-American general, approaches with dignity. Sessler looks back at Gory and Walker, incredulous.
Is this a joke?
I call it poetic justice.
I cannot surrender to...
Captain Sessler, as a general in the United States Army, I am here to accept your surrender.
I cannot. I will not lose my honor.
Oh, you lost that when you became a Nazi. Either you keep your word, surrender now and live, or you'll walk back through that door a liar and die today. What it'll be.
Sessler has an almost comical time trying to salute General Davis. His physical difficulty doing so betrays his inner struggle, compromising his principles. Sessler is defeated. Gory handcuffs him and leads him away. A stream of unarmed German soldiers exit the front doors of the fortress, hands in the air. Super. On April 27, 1945, the 92nd Infantry Division, the only African-American infantry unit to see combat in World War II, crushed the German forces at Genoa, which were weakened due to the activities of the partisans, and Walker Harris. With a motion from General Davis, African-American soldiers rush into the fortress.
It was the partisans who liberated their own country, not the Allies.
Camo and Maurizio celebrate with over 100 of their closest friends. Wine bottles are popped and spilt.
Asti spumante.
There is a celebration in the streets as the German soldiers are walked under guard, their hands on their heads. Walker shares poignant glances with Gory, Maurizio, and Camo.
It's difficult for those who were not there to understand everything the Italian people did for us and to realize the immense debt of gratitude we owe to their kindness and their courage. These people fought for their own freedom and won.
Exterior, the harbour fort, day. Gory approaches arresting Walker through a celebratory crowd.
That went better than I expected.
Oh, what do you mean?
It was a bluff. I never would have attacked a reinforced position. Hundreds would have died.
What were you going to do if they didn't surrender?
It could have been a long siege, but they would surrender eventually. They had no food.
General Davis approaches, oddly casual.
Can I keep the jacket?
No, someone will arrest you.
General Davis removes his jacket.
What's going on?
General Benjamin Davis retired last year. I was betting the Germans didn't know that.
You're not. Then who are you?
Proud member of the American 366th 92nd Division, sir. Lieutenant Frederick Davison, at your service.
You're not a general?
No, sir. But if it saved lives to pretend to be one for an hour, I was all for it. It was kind of fun.
That Nazi couldn't even look at you in the eyes.
How did you make him look older?
White the flower.
Lieutenant Davison shakes flour out of his hair.
Someday you'll make a real general.
So now what? You've got a whole country to rebuild.
Do not worry. I have a plan.
Gory walks off with his arm around Davison. Camo approaches.
I have to return to the States.
I know. You just drop your bombs and leave.
Interior, a hospital, day. Walker lies in bed, the army doctor, 40s, beside him concluding his examination. Super, June 1945, Fitzsimmons Army Hospital, Colorado.
Lucky to be alive, son. Tests indicate you have both malaria and pleurisy.
Am I gonna die, Doc?
Not if I can help it. Pleurisy is manageable.
What's pleurisy?
It's an inflammation of the membranes around your lungs. You might have pain breathing for the rest of your life.
What causes that?
Could be a number of things. Rib fractures, viral infections, cardiac arrests. Have you been living in unsanitary conditions?
Yeah, I was a prisoner for several weeks.
That'll do it. Prognosis is you're staying in this bed for another 6 weeks, at least until we can get the malaria under control. Let's get your weight back up too.
The doctor squeezes Walker's shoulder and continues his rounds. A warrant officer, 30s, appears with some forms.
Sergeant Henry Harris?
Call me Walker.
I need to confirm your identity, Sergeant.
Yeah, that's me.
I have some forms here the Army would like you to sign.
He hands Walker a clipboard. Walker starts signing them.
What am I signing?
You're acknowledging that you have been hereby informed that your wartime activities have been classified, and you may not discuss them with anyone, in person or in print, ever.
Walker stops signing and looks at the officer.
The government can't acknowledge one of theirs may or may not have broken the law in actions they may or may not have taken behind enemy lines. So your choice is either 6 months back pay and an honorable discharge or a court-martial. It's up to you. I suggest you sign.
Walker signs the papers with some reluctance.
Well, what happened to Sessler?
Seems the charges were leveled against Sessler and then dropped.
Dropped.
The Army wanted a bigger fish. We traded up. American justice.
That son of a bitch tortured me.
Sessler was granted immunity in exchange for his testimony against General Dossler, who had 15 American soldiers summarily executed. They should have been treated as prisoners of war.
I'll tell you how they treat prisoners of war.
Be that as it may, the deal is done. Sorry.
Walker looks at the warrant officer with tears in his eyes.
I'd like to call my mama.
I can get you a phone.
Interior, Esther's house, Texas, day. The black phone on the wall vibrates when it rings.
It's amazing how quickly a life can change. 1 minute you're alive, next minute you're dead. Or in my case, 1 minute you're dead, the next minute you're alive.
Esther Harris walks up and answers the phone. A look of confusion crosses her face, then surprise and relief. Interior, a hospital, day. Walker cries when his mother answers the phone.
Mama? Yes, it's really me. I'm not dead. I want to come home.
Interior, Katie's high school classroom, day. Grandpa Walker sums up his story.
So if you only remember one thing from what I've said today, remember that we often take life for granted, but it can change in an instant. I lost good friends fighting in that war, and I also came back stronger because of it. So I leave you with this. You're in charge of your own fate. You're the captain of your soul.
The class applauds sincerely for Grandpa Walker's speech. Katie beams happily, much relieved, and genuinely proud.
Any questions?
Devon raises his hand in the back.
Yes, sir.
Devon counts on his fingers as he speaks.
Okay. Let me get this straight. You got hit by a flak, almost got killed by a volcano. Your phone got shot down. The Germans almost shot you, but hit your rifle instead.
You missed one. I almost died when I jumped out of the plane. The engine exploded and I hit the ground hard. That counts for 2.
Right. Black volcano, plane exploded, hit the ground, shot by the Germans, truck exploded, heart stopped, and you were digging your own grave. That's still only 8. Where's number 9?
Well, I'm happy you were paying attention. And you're right. 8 deaths means I'm on my 9th life now.
Devon nods in appreciation. He flashes a smile at Katie. She lowers her eyes. But when she raises them, he's still looking at her. And she's smiling too. They hold eye contact for 1 meaningful second. Interior, a diner, day. Walker walks in, looks around, and sees what he's searching for. Alice is waiting tables. He takes a seat at the counter.
I figure I don't get to come back from the next one. So I'm making this one the best life of them all.
Well, hello there, stranger. Welcome home. What can I get you?
I have been craving three things for some time. One is some brisket barbecue, and two is a large Coke.
And one other thing?
Date with you tomorrow night.
Why, Walker Harris? This isn't like you. At least not the Walker I remember.
I have a story to tell you if you'll hear it. It includes that photo you gave me.
I will be happy to hear it. Pick me up at 8. You remember where I live?
Yeah, it would take an army to prevent me from being there.
She smiles at him, and he watches her bounce away.
Well, it didn't ultimately work out with Alice. But I eventually met your grandmother, and together we raised a daughter who became your mom. It's amazing how quickly life can change.
Exterior Brandenburg Gate, day. Walker, now 35, admires the Berlin Monument as a tourist.
1 minute, we're bombing the Germans. The next, they're our friends.
Interior, a hospital, day. Donna, 27, a brunette, gives birth as Walker holds her hand.
1 minute, you're holding your baby daughter in your arms.
The nurse presents Walker with a bawling bundle of love. Interior, a church, day. An organ plays Wagner's Here Comes the Bride. The small parish is packed with well-dressed attendees. The beaming bride, Deirdre, 22, walks up the aisle with Walker, now 64.
The next, you're giving her away.
Walker cries tears of happiness and sadness. Interior, Kate's high school hallway, day. Katie follows her grandfather out into the empty hall.
1 minute, you think you couldn't be any happier. But then your granddaughter is born, and you realize you've not yet lived.
Aw,
I hope I didn't embarrass you.
not at all, Grandpa. Thank you for coming. Thank you for everything you did.
I've wanted to feel appreciated for a long time now. Not by you, by society. But I'm done fighting for fame. I just want you to know now how much I love you. Because, well, I'm not going to be here forever. And I just hope you remember me.
Oh, Grandpa, I love you.
They embrace. Grandpa Walker kisses her forehead.
I'm so proud of you.
No, Grandpa, I'm proud of you.
Exterior, Fort Logan National Cemetery, day. Deirdre holds Donna's arm, now 70s, as they sit on white folding chairs before a colourful casket suspended over an open grave. A flowered wreath stands at its foot. They are surrounded by family and friends, including Katie and Devon. A retired army captain, 70s, speaks to the crowd.
When our country called, Walker answered. He set himself aside for the sake of the greater good. Firing detail, render the honors.
Everyone places their right hand over their heart. The captain nods, and a line of 7 Marines in formal dress aim and fire 3 times. A 21-gun salute. A bugler plays taps. The captain presents Donna with the triangular folded flag.
On behalf of the President of the United States, please accept this flag as a token of appreciation for the honorable service rendered by your husband, Walker Harris.
Flowers are laid on the casket, and the family watches solemnly as it is lowered into the ground. Each attendee throws a handful of dirt on it as they process out.
My grandfather was just a regular airman, but his story shows what pure determination can achieve. He fought for the liberation of Italy, led mostly by its own citizens against fascism. He survived a plane crash, torture in prison, and several battles. America doesn't need superheroes. We have plenty of real heroes of our own.
The crowd disperses. Soon, Katie sits alone with Deirdre and Donna. Devon grabs Katie's shoulder comfortingly as he, the last person, walks past. She holds his hand for a moment, and his gaze in gratitude. Before he walks away, Devon spontaneously turns and salutes the casket. His lip quivers, and tears run down his face. Montage over black. The below is all the supered one sentence at a time. Pictures of the actors appear beside their historical characters. Maurizio's real name was Ferruccio Parri, 1890 to 1981. He was elected Italy's Prime Minister in 1945. Reginald Jorgensen, 1923 to 1999, claimed to be a member of the OSS, the precursor to the CIA. There are no records to corroborate this. Henry Walker Harris, 1925 to 2008, was awarded the Silver Star for his actions in northern Italy. He died, for the 9th time, in hospice in Colorado, survived by 2 sons, a daughter, and 4 grandchildren, including Katie. End montage. Exterior somewhere over Italy, twilight. A group of 6 Mitchell bombers flies in formation. In the next shot, there are only 4 bombers. Super. This film is dedicated to all those who gave their lives in defense of freedom, and especially to the veterans of World War II who will soon no longer be with us. The planes bank, and there are only 3 bombers. Super. These heroes exemplify courage, honor, dedication, and sacrifice. Thank you. As the 3 bombers fly, one disappears. It doesn't crash or show any signs of distress. It just vanishes. 2 bombers fly. The pilots salute each other. The one pilot looks ahead for just a second, and when he looks back, the other plane just isn't there. He flies on, alone. The last Mitchell bomber disappears into the sunset. Soon, we can't see it either. The end.